Centennial Grand Final about to get underway. Umpire Johnson bounces the ball, an awkward bounce, almost landed with Allen, and the umpire's picked out a kick in the opening seconds to be taken by Subiaco's Neil Taylor. Neil Taylor in the middle of the ground, goes out wide, he's looking for Breman, up over him Scott, good attempt at spoiling. This is Higgins with the football now, deep in defence for Claremont. Kicks the ball up towards the wing position, chance here for Lee, boots Subiaco forward, over the head of Cocker and into the hands of James. Short pass is on, through the hands of Peter Thorne. It was like a piece of soap, coming in brilliantly is Hutchinson. That's a very ordinary tackle from Higgins.
That is reportable as far as I'm concerned, because I believe it was intentional.
Hutchinson kicks towards the edge of the square. Georgiades is there. Through the hands of Beers to Breman. A snap by Breman, and Subiaco are on the board. And there's almost a fight. There is a fight between Scott. Oh, there's a pack of players in there. That looks a pretty ugly scene in the opening minutes of this first semi-final, but Subiaco on the board with a goal.
Yes, and of course that all started with an easy mark drop by Peter Thorne, one of the star players for Claremont this season, and he received from Peter Higgins, and he dropped an easy mark and allowed Subiaco in. But what a magnificent reflex goal from Todd Breman, an absolutely superb effort from him. He was under all sorts of pressure. He had a split second to get it onto his boot, but he's played it full forward a lot, and he knew exactly where the goals were on Subiaco Oval, and he's popped it through. But there was always going to be a bubble early on, and there's a lot of feeling between these two sides. Subiaco, I would think, Trevor, kicking with the breeze out there. It's a northeasterly breeze, and it's been blustery. It hasn't really been favouring any one end during the minor games here this afternoon, but it is certainly right at this stage favouring the end that Subiaco are kicking to. It's blowing very strongly into the left full forward pocket.
There's the bounce. Up goes Higgins, opposed by Keane. Higgins knocks it straight down to McDougall. He hooks up towards half forward. Lee going back with the flight of the ball. He lost his footing there. Allows Cocker through though for Subiaco ahead of Owens. And he knocks it over the line for a boundary throw in. 55 metres around from the Lions' goal.
Bit different start by Subi today.
Well, I reckon they had to kick with this breeze to give themselves a good chance of winning the game, Keith. They've done that.
They're pretty hot.
Higgins won the tap. Chance for Cocker. Comes to Pike. He boots Claremont forward up to the wing. David O'Connell close to the boundary line. Brings it in brilliantly. Then, no, it was out of bounds. Boundary umpire fair way behind the play. Very important player today, David O'Connell.
What an athlete. I think he's going to be a champion, David O'Connell. I really do.
This is Keane. This time he's opposed by Neesham. He's too tall for Neesham and pulls him out of the way too. Got rid of him unceremoniously. And McDougall boots it up towards half forward. With the kick coming back to Neesham. We've got a very high tackle from Laurie Keane.
Carpenter played on with the ball there and could have been penalised 50 metres, but with a crowd like this yelling and screaming, it's quite often hard to hear the whistle.
He's not the most popular man on the oval today. Neesham, left foot, nice looking drop punt into the pocket. Up high was Brayshaw. The Crumbs come to kick it. He's in the right full forward pocket. He's a miraculous player, but he gets it across to Brayshaw, and from point blank range, Claremont equal the scores. Claremont have won goal through the boot of Brayshaw, but a good team build up around the outer side of the ground. Subiaco have won goal, and we've been playing 3.5 minutes.
And what a super piece of unselfish play by Dale Kickett. He could quite easily have blasted away. He was only 20 metres out. There's the change of mind, and that's a very good piece of thinking by the young man. He goes to ground, but he set it up beautifully for Brayshaw, who waltzed into an open goal, and Dale Kickett's handball made a certainty of it.
So the contest continues in the middle of the ground between Higgins and Keane. The bounce favours Keane. Higgins came over the top, knocked on by Pike. Chance for Subiaco. Hand passed away by Hutchinson to Dargy. Out wide at a Bryce. Kickett's right on his hammer. He's got a hand pass in a hurry. This is Hutchinson, brought down by Neesham and holding the ball. First points to Neesham over Hutchinson in the match.
Yep, and that's the way to tackle. Don't give the opposition a chance of getting it away.
Beautiful pass. David O'Connell's on the end of it. The general already into the game. O'Connell kicks up towards full forward. Keane is there. At the back is Armat. Knocked away by Malesso, but he's given away a kick. Now there's another fight on here between Willett and Malesso. That's pretty ordinary from both players involved there. Now Armat's involved in it.
He doesn't want to be involved, I don't think.
No, it's a fiery start to this game.
Sparks has
gone mad.
A lot of feeling between these two sides, and there's going to be a lot of bruising incidents before the end of this match.
Hello,
now Dargy and Thorne.
Yeah, he picked the wrong one, Thorny. He definitely picked the wrong guy.
I don't think he picked anybody. Dargy just charged in.
Well, he was throwing a few lefts, Trev.
Now they're out of bounds, those two. They're into the crowd. There's two players in the crowd.
Laurie Keane, the
David
peacemaker.
O'Connor's handling Sparks now.
Look at Higgins outside the fence. Come back, son.
Best place to be, I reckon, Trev.
It's your own beat, Keith. It's on again. Higgins and...
Oh, Malesso, what a good uppercut.
In a very ugly incident at the start of this match.
So the free kick to Subi, I think, isn't there?
Laurie Keane's going to receive the free kick.
So let's see what the umpires are going to do about the...
I think he signalled a free kick to Subi.
He did. That was the original decision.
And that was after...
Umpire's taken Darky's number.
Dargy's gone.
Well, the best punch thrown in there for mine was Peter Malesso. A very good uppercut into the pack.
Higgins wasn't far behind him.
He's got Malesso, no, Willits and
Yes.
Malesso.
Well, the original blue was between Higgins and Willett, wasn't it? Or Malesso and Willett, that's right.
Well, I think
yes.
Kevin Sparks has done a jumper somehow. Well, what's going to happen? What's
50 metres here to Subiaco with Laurie Keane to take the free kick.
I wonder what the entree is. That's the hors d'oeuvres.
Both sides fired up to explosive point. O'Reilly says to Jared Neesham, I think you better cool it, son.
Where's the ball?
Laurie Keane's got the ball under his arm.
And he's got 50 metres. Okay, where we go?
Big Laurie would set this up just outside the square if he gets onto one of those ball bursters. It's a goal apiece. 7 minutes have ticked by. Not a great deal of play so far in the game. It's a drop punt just outside the square. Up from the back, Scott rose very high. Comes to McDougall. Attempted trip wasn't successful, and McDougall's snap is a gem. Brilliant snap by Brad McDougall.
And McDougall's lucky to be playing today because he failed to turn up for a practice session last Sunday, and Bunton was thinking about dropping him from the side.
Higgins down to hand,
Wouldn't have
almost
thought
stolen
too
by
long.
Carpenter. Lee's in trouble, but a high tackle. Umpires aren't missing a single thing at the moment, Keith.
No, that's good umpiring. They're taking control. Some of the fiddly free kicks being given, or I think it's important to give them.
Morton, safe mark on his chest.
Pretty ordinary kick by Mick Lee.
And dropped short.
Yeah, didn't get it away at all.
So Morton switches play to the outer side of the ground. He's looking out there for O'Connell. Up in front of him, Povey. Through the traffic comes Owens. He lets it go for Povey. He's got a paddock to run in, and has he got some speed? He draws a player over the top to Neesham. It bounces up beautifully. He draws a man too, but what's the umpire done? Shepherding behind the play.
I think he went too far, Trev. I think he caught Povey running too far with the ball.
So the free kick to be taken by Brown. On the crest, outer side. Good-looking drop punt. Georgiades up. Takes the mark. Opposed by Morton and Owens.
Noel Morton will need to play in front of Georgiades because he is a very talented player and takes a very good mark.
Tremendous atmosphere, Keith, at the start of this game.
Yep, 30,000 here and they're loving it.
Georgiades goes short and the mark taken. Coming down the ground, Brian Taylor. He goes across. Big Laurie.
Yeah, way to go. He'll give it a big ride too, no risk about that.
Can he kick it from there?
No.
65 metres out.
I hope he does, but I don't think he will.
He's going to give it a go, Spud.
65 metres.
The big spiral.
Attacking side of the square. Bang. It's not a bad kick, but it fades away. Distance he got okay. Accuracy was astray.
Well, that was 50, 60 metres off about 2 steps. Can kick a ball a long way. The atmosphere absolutely electric. It shouldn't be any other way in a grand final.
7 points in favour of Subiaco. The kick into play finds Pike. He goes up along the members' wing, puts it out in front of Morton. O'Connell coming across to meet it. His metres in front of Brown. He's undecided, holding the ball. Gotta be. He had nobody to give it to.
Lack of support from the Claremont players. That's bad football. Where Allen, Pike, Thorne.
Georgiades kicks into the man in the mark. That was loose football. Thorne's got it. Forced a hand pass away. Coming through strongly. Hutchinson overran it. Ahmet was held. Free kick to Joe Ahmet.
That should be 50 metres if you come in and tackle from behind like that.
Well, he went to run around and no,
Can't come from behind.
Now David O'Connell's got the mark. He's on the boundary line. 70 metres out from goal, right in front of the members' stand. The umpire's whistle sounded. There's a fight on between Malesso and Willett again. And Malesso's just hoeing into Willett right in front of the umpire.
Well, he's been reported once, I'd say.
Those two are absolutely at each other's throats down there, Willett and Malesso. O'Reilly again speaks to Malesso.
Yeah, well, Claremont should lose the football. What should happen here, if he was the aggressor and I didn't see it, the umpire looks like he's taken his number, to penalise the side effectively, he should take the football off David O'Connell and give it to Subiaco, because Malesso should be penalised.
Umpires confer. No, David O'Connell will keep the footy.
He's very lucky.
Explosive in that forward line. The foot pass is on. It's out of the reach of Hand. Allen's got it. No, Hand got it eventually. Trying to get it back to Allen. He's tackled strongly there by Kemp. Allen at ground level, finessing. Too long, says the umpire. And Carpenter breaks away. Subiaco look good at the moment. There's a prodigious kick by Carpenter. It comes to Lee. The advantage rule has been paid. Lee runs inside 50 metres. He gets around Owens. He got a high tackle.
Too high.
Povey doesn't like the decision. Lee's got the free kick for the Lions.
Very lucky as Mick Lee slipped over at a crucial time. Oh, the crowd is very emotional here at the moment. They're really revved up.
No doubt about the decision.
The tackler was Peter Owens.
Not sure how severe that was. I think he might have put it on a bit.
He shoot from 45 metres. He poled well on the Sandover medal count last Monday. He's poled pretty well here too, I think. Full points. Brilliant kick by Lee. Although it was with the breeze, that breeze is gusty and a bit tricky, and blowing across the face of those goals slightly. So that was a good kick from that distance.
Yes, there just appears to be a little bit of lack of discipline. That's Lee getting the kick away from about 45 metres in the Claremont side. And I'm sure Gerard Neesham wouldn't be over happy with what's going on at the moment, because the umpires are being very technical. I think they're correct to be technical. But the one suffering, I would think, on the free kick score is Claremont, Ken.
And 9 kicks to Subiaco, 5 to Claremont.
Yep.
13 points in favour of Subiaco. Terrible Browns favours Keane. He knocks it back to the centre, allows Dargy to come through. Subiaco look good again as they charge forward. Away from Bremen by Scott, comes to Owens. Owens kicks the ball out wide towards the wing position. Chance to kick it. In come the Subiaco troops. He's cornered and out of bounds.
Owens is playing very well at centre-half back to Claremont. He's one guy that's really keeping his head and has been an effective defender.
17 minutes gone in this first quarter of play. It's been a brilliant term so far. Keane, but there's been interference spotted in the ruck. Big Laurie, he's got the kick.
In front is the place to be.
Michael O'Connell warming up on the boundary. Laurie Keane. Big kick towards full forward. Owens is there, so is Cocker. Crumbs to Georgiades. He's dangerous around the goals. He snaps goalward. It's bouncing forward, and it's through for the minor score only. Arriving late was Bremen.
Oh, what a horrible feeling for John Scott. John Scott saw the ball hit the ground and bounce away from him. Absolute desperation with the boot. Luckily for him, it went the wrong side of the post.
Looks as though Kickett's coming off. Michael O'Connell will come on.
Bit of experience coming on.
3-3 Subiaco, 1-1 Claremont. Great kick back into play. At the back, Brown comes to Neesham. Neesham heads towards the boundary line. A little bit indirect by the coach. Now he kicks towards half forward. And Armat drops a sitter and then fumbles badly, and it's out of bounds. A little bit of nerves there, Keith.
Yes, there is. And right at this stage, I'd say Subiaco have come out of the bubble better. They're playing the ball just a bit more strongly than Claremont at the moment.
They're going with that breeze. Keane, clean possession. Hand passes to Brown. He lays it off to Taylor. Taylor's half-distance kick, it wasn't a good one. Hand in front of Lee. Hand fumbles. The ball comes back to him eventually. Now he's cornered.
Great start.
Great play by Dargy and Lee. They manned up then, but now Povey's got it. He's forced a hand pass. Subiaco have got good pressure. It's out towards the boundary and Begovic can't keep it in.
Yep, that pressure is there, isn't it, from Subi? They're running hard, either in attack or defence, and they are the team that have got the most pressure on at the moment.
They showed a lot of character last week. O'Connell interfered within the ruck. Free kick to David O'Connell of Claremont.
Consistent umpiring. O'Connell had the front position.
And he fought very hard to get it too, didn't he?
Yeah, he was manhandled, but was good thinking by David O'Connell.
Pops it over the top to Begovic. 50 metres out, alongside the boundary. Into the square, up in front with it. A safe defensive mark. Now he sends Kemp away from the back line. Taylor shepherding. Kick towards the wing is wide and over the line on the full. That wasn't a good kick at all.
Pretty ordinary football. In fact, he'd have to be lucky to be in the side today, Kemp, after his performance last week.
It's a contested mark out on the boundary, but it's been awarded to Thorne. He cuts inboard onto the left boot, sets it up just outside the square. Up they go. Mark almost to Laurie Keane. It's been paid.
The big man is getting in the right position, isn't he?
He's too tall down there for the
working very hard. Right position, right time so far.
Look at the kick. 60 metres back to the centre of the ground. Owens was pushed out.
Yeah, Owens is right on top at centre half back.
He's got some run here too.
Oh, what?
He went looking for Beers.
I don't believe it.
It should have been a hand pass. Now they've lost it. Neil Taylor's got it, confronted by hand. He kicks into the pocket for Freeman. Great mark. Brilliant mark to Freeman, who crashes into a photographer. Look at the mark, Pete.
He can kick that. That was a great mark, a lovely pass from the skipper.
50 metres out, that won't come back enough. And he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. That's uncharacteristic of Todd Freeman.
Yep. Neil Taylor, of course, he's not the skipper. He has been the skipper of Subiaco, but a lovely pass going in.
Now this time, Beers finds Scott. They're still in the last line of defence, Claremont. And Subiaco, with the breeze, so far have looked the better side. They've settled better, and they may have come out best in the punch-up department as well. There's a prodigious torpedo going back with a flight. Brown, well spoiled by O'Connell, who fell over. Now it's picked up by Thorne. He's on the members' wing, kicks into the pocket, but it's wide of Molesso. With him is Willett. Good finesse from Molesso, gets it away towards Michael O'Connell. He loses it now to Armat. Armat cuts inboard, has a bounce to balance, tries to do too much. Play on the call. Molesso, met by Willett. Goes to the ground, knocks it to Neesham now. Neesham on the left foot. That's a good snap from the coach. Great snap by Gerard Neesham. Claremont now advanced to 2-1, trading Subiaco 3-3 after 20 minutes.
It's a sensational game of footy. It really is. Class personified, no doubt about that. Watch the poise of Neesham. Number 11 shows the ball, sees a gap, pops it through. Lovely goal. All started by big David O'Connell. He made a good spoil on Clint Brown. He set it up for Peter Thorne, and a lovely snap. High-class football by Gerard Neesham in Claremont.
There's the scoreline. Ken, who have been some of the leading kick getters to this stage?
Dougal's had 4, David O'Connell had 4 kicks, Laurie Keane's had 4, and Gerard Neesham, who's kicked that goal, had 4, and John Georgiades had 4, as Peter Higgins drives Claremont into attack.
And Michael O'Connell made enough ground. Did he hold it long enough?
No.
Not according to the umpire. Bryce kicks it up to half forward now for Subiaco, out of the reach of Lee.
Now, the players have got to be very careful here, because the umpires have been very technical while the players have been heated out there. They will not give these technical kicks all day. They will settle down into a more grand final type pattern.
Higgins and Cocker. Cocker wins the tap, but sharp by Pike. He boots Claremont up to the wing. Michael O'Connell in front of Bryce. Tried to kick the ball around the boundary line. Brian Taylor showed courage there as he was met by David O'Connell at ground level. He plays on quickly to Keane. Allen smiles. Great play by the centreman. Great recovery by Keane, though. Out comes Thorne with the football. Tries to get it back to Allen. He got a high tackle. Now McDougall's got it. Should have been a free kick to Allen. The kick towards the half-forward line is carried out by Hutchison.
Well, the umpires are now settled down, Trevor. They reckon the game's settled down. They're not going to give the ticky touch with free kicks. You'll find kicks hard to get from the umpires from now on, I would think.
21 plays 13 in favour of the Lions.
Good knock.
Yes, by Higgins to Begovic across the Pike. He sets it up for Thorne. He feigns the hand pass. Now left-handed to Neesham. Neesham trying to do too much. Back to David O'Connell. The kick's a shocker, and that's a free kick to Subiaco to be taken by number 16, Andrew Bryce. And the veteran Claremont supporters wouldn't have liked that.
And a pretty good tackle then on Neesham. Brian Taylor playing the man, not the ball, and he caught Neesham out.
Dargy going back, Pike over the top, great mark, plays on quickly. Now the kick to half forward, holds up in the breeze. Brown allowed it to bounce. This allows Brayshaw to come through. Thorne
played,
confronted by Sparks. O'Connell's kick was smothered. And David O'Connell kicks it into the path of Sparks. He got a high tackle from Armat. and O'Reilly was right on the scene. Now Keane with the mark.
Oh, gee, he's played an enormous quarter, Keane.
He kicks the ball out wide towards the members' wing, looking for Georgiades.
Great kick.
Almost hit him on the chest. Morton's with him. They track the ball to the boundary. He's caught, flung out of bounds, holding the ball, the decision.
That's pretty tough. I thought he tried to kick it. Umpires are sucked in by the crowd a bit then, I reckon.
Morton goes to Higgins, right on the crest. He goes inboard, a loose hand pass, chance for Cocker. He pushes Beers in the back, in goes Dargy, brilliant
Kicking in
coverage.
danger. First time I've seen it all season, Higgins kicking in danger.
But what a great, courageous attempt by Dargy.
Yeah, no, he doesn't lack anything there, Trev. He'd be enjoying all this out there.
From right centre wing, he goes looking for Bremen. At the back, Scott. It carries those two players, and that's a boundary throw-in, 15 metres around from the behind post.
I'd say, Trevor, at ground level, that Subi have a decided advantage with that breeze, because the ball is carrying a long way.
Have they kicked a big enough lead, though?
Not so far if there is an advantage out there.
Higgins and Cocker. Higgins knocks it to the back. Owens knocks it away. Morton knocks it away. But Neesham, he gets booed by the crowd, but he's cool in the crisis. Although the kick was loose, allowed McDougall in. Great shepherding by Povey. Allows Claremont to go forward to the wing. Brown knocks it away from Higgins. Now Keane gets it back towards Taylor. Taylor goes out wide for Lee.
Great vision. Great vision.
55 metres out. Povey on the mark. Crowd loving that. He goes into the pocket. Heady.
For the first time today.
Brilliant player last week in the final. He's 45 metres out in the left full forward pocket. Spectators watching anxiously. They wouldn't want to miss a minute of this. It's been champagne football.
Oh, and ever. What a great prelim, and I think a great grand final.
So far. Now it's with young Heady. Right foot drop punt's not a good one. It's across the face. McDougall up. No mark. At the back, Hutchison coming through the Claremont defence strongly through Beers. Now Neesham. He keeps it in play. Picked up by Subiaco. Hand pass to Neil Taylor. The pass is on. Lee underneath the football. Coming through is Thorne. Knocked away by Dargy to Keane. Oh, that was a hospital hand pass for Lee. It comes to Owens. And Claremont are out of trouble. He puts it out in front of Povey. He'll knock it away. But he knocked it straight towards Hutchinson. Now it's O'Connell.
Play.
Begovic, confronted by Bryce, spins out of trouble nicely. Now he runs, oh, he's lost it, trying to bounce it. He's in trouble now. In comes Taylor to tie up the football, and that'll be a bounce from umpire O'Reilly.
Well, there's mistakes being made, but why wouldn't you make a mistake out there? It's really hot. Tackling severe. There's no quarter at all being given, and neither side has really settled down yet.
We're into time on by a minute and a half. Subiaco lead by 8 points. There's the bounce. Keane and David O'Connell, the two Eagles. It comes down to Neesham. The kick into the forward line comes to Molesso. Great tackle, Carpenter. Dispossessed him.
Well, it had to be holding the ball on the score of consistency. When Georgiades was caught a minute ago, he gave him a split second, and on the score of consistency, that should have been holding the ball.
There it is again, Keith. Brilliant tackle by Carpenter.
Yes, it was, and he made no attempt.
Now it's Molesso and Keane. Keane too tall. Brian Taylor caught by Armat. Keane again. Forced a hand pass. It comes to Brayshaw. Now it's out wide. A chance here for Kemp. With him is Armat. In there is Willett. And that's another bounce in the left full forward pocket for the Tigers.
A goal here to Claremont would make it a very good quarter for the Tigers as Higgins comes off the field.
Kicket is back on the ground. Umpire O'Reilly. Keane with Molesso. Down to Neesham was brilliant. To hand. The snapshot is away to the right-hand side. Touches the post.
He should have done better. It was a lovely handball by Neesham. He's been in the thick of things. He's been a good player for Claremont. He's led the way.
Wouldn't think he'd been out of football for, what is it, Ken, about 8 weeks?
Yes, he had 7 weeks suspension, so he hasn't played for 2 months. And that was a beautiful knock at the bounce by Peter Molesso, and a very slick hand pass from Jared Neesham across to Mark Hand, whose shot hit the top of the post.
Brown puts the ball back into play. Prodigious kick. Up goes Willett, but from the back, James almost a specky. The Trumps come to Pike and Claremont. He kicks them forward towards Armat. Armat, a great mark. Well, he's in the marks of the year, Joey Armat, and that was a spectacular mark.
So Armat, one hand. I thought he should have done better with 2, but he's pulled it in, and that's all that counts. And he should make the distance here.
45-degree angle. just inside 50, you can see that. The kick will come back, but not enough. In fact, it fades away into the pocket and out of bounds on the full. The Breeze took that ball right away from the goal line.
Yes, well, he didn't allow enough for it, did he? Northeasterly breeze blowing.
Brown, he looks workmanlike in defence already. Kicks it back to the half-back line. Up goes O'Connell, knocked away by Keane. Chance for the speedy Begovic. Right half forward, finessing. Hand passes now to Nisham. He's cornered, loses the football. In comes Subiaco through Hutchinson. Now it's back with O'Connell, wearing him his billet. And that was good defence again by Subiaco, who keep up the pressure.
Wasn't that good pressure from Nisham then? He was tackled, lost possession, and gee, didn't he get back very quickly. Great recovery.
7 points in favour of Subiaco. Nearing the end of this first quarter. Hutchinson dispossessed. Now a chance for Ahmat. You've got a kick, pushing the back. He's played on. He's 45 metres out. He gets around Kemp. Now kicks into Sparks. Bad play from Ahmat. His butter's up again though. This time he's holding the man.
Holding the man, Trev, a free kick. Pike was held, but not in possession.
By Sparks.
Yep, and it was there, and the umpire right on the spot. I think it's umpire O'Reilly. And the Pike now a chance to almost level the scores.
Well, very loose defence by Subiaco because they were going to get away with that. But now Sparks has infringed behind the play. That's Jones and Jennings, interchange players for Subiaco.
Kicking right into the breezes, Pike.
Pike, he's a brilliant kick of the football.
Look at it drop.
Yeah, and swung away and through for the minor score. But Claremont are peppering the goals, and I just doubt whether Subiaco build up a big enough lead with the Breeze.
Well, it doesn't appear so, because I'm sure Claremont are kicking into it, and they certainly had their opportunities, but Claremont are all class, of course, and they're a little bit rattled early and appear to settle a little better now near the end of the quarter.
Almost 6 minutes of time on. It must be almost siren time. Allen, almost a great mark over Taylor. Now Keane's got it. He hooks it around the corner, only as far as Thorne. He runs into Lee. Back he comes, though. Good fight at ground level there. In comes Beers to lend support, and that'll be another bounce. He's a Tiger, Mick Lee.
Yep, and I just thought he wanted the ball a bit more than Thorne then.
O'Connell and Keane. Keane pushed out. O'Connell kicks Claremont forward. Knocked away from Michael O'Connell. Comes to James. He kicks them forward. Ahmat at the back, Willett. Crumbs will come to Ahmat, but the umpire's whistle sounded. No, that won't stand.
Willett's kick. No risk. He was interfered with.
Plays on quickly and finds Clint Brown. Brown tries to draw Allen. Now he has a bounce. Finally he decides to kick, but it's a very awkward looking kick. He's looking for Georgiades. He's out come up with the wing. Hand passes out wide to Neil Taylor. He's confronted by Thorne. Now McDougall. McDougall, a brilliant torpedo. Chance for Cocker. He's got to mark it. Very loose play. He pushed Owens in the back.
Oh, he's done it 3 times this quarter. That's very ordinary play, Shane Cocker.
Shane Cocker.
Very ordinary play.
Owens finds Hand. He's all on his own. Attacking side at the defensive 50-metre line, but he's cut back now. Finally he goes across to Beers. Beers kicks the ball out wide, looking for Pike. He's out in front of Lee. And there goes the siren as Claremont were making ground around the outer side. So it's 3-3 to 2-3 in favour of Subiaco. The second quarter to get underway. Umpire O'Reilly with the football. Bounces straight as a gun barrel. Up goes David O'Connell. Keane beats him through the hands of Pike. Overrun by Hand. Chance for Neil Taylor, who soccers Subiaco forward. Owens chucking across. With him is Jones. Not a great deal of pace in that pair, Ken, but plenty of desperation.
Yes, they're both big men, and they're not very fast players. But Owens' great strength is in the air, and he's certainly done a fine job.
Up goes O'Connell. Wins the tap down to Pike. He's met by Carpenter. Unfairly, according to umpire O'Reilly. And the man who's earmarked to possibly join the Eagles next year, Don Pike, to boot Claremont forward. Away he goes. That was loose checking from Subiaco. The kick to the 50-metre line. Ahmat, almost the mark, knocked away by Keane. Now it's Kemp, pushed in the back. No doubt about that. Umpire Johnson awarding the free kick to Subiaco.
Yeah, he's very lucky it was there, but he ran into his own man. And very nearly lost the ball.
Kemp, the boy from Kalgoorlie, boots them forward, up towards the edge of the square. Big pack up. Georgiades was in there.
Class roving.
By Don Pike. He kicks them forward again towards the edge of the square. Keane from the back. Good attempt to mark by Brayshaw. Knocked on by Bryce. Neil Taylor gets it towards Dargy. In comes Allen. Dispossessed. Crumbs to James. Now Brayshaw. He's kicked towards full forward. Michael O'Connell, good courage. Sparks at ground level. Beaten by Armand though. He's in the right full forward pocket if he can pick it up. He's tackled by Bryce. He paddles it towards Kickett. He's clever. It's a small kick away though. Malesso's in there with Taylor. The crumbs come towards O'Connell. With him is Willett. He dives on top of the football and the umpire will bounce it down.
Very nearly a free kick, I suggest, to Michael O'Connell. And I think it was Kemp who went into the middle of his back, or Dargy.
There's the bounce in the right full forward pocket. Brayshaw up. Neesham with strength. Tackled by Willett. Did he have it?
He should have been given a free kick.
Kickett now a chance. Through the traffic brilliantly. With the kick smothered. It's with Malesso. To Neesham. Tackled by Taylor. Holding the ball. It's got to be. Now it's with Kickett. He's dispossessed. Brian Taylor again. Great courage. Good desperation. Beers over the top of Hutchison. A great mark. Subi a bit unlucky not to get the kick, Keith.
Oh, didn't they fight like terriers, though?
There's the kick, setting it up for Malesso. Knocked away by Willett. Allen beats Sparks. Still he goes. Now at ground level. He paddles it away out wide. Coming to meet at hand.
Oh.
Now Carpenter. He's in trouble. Holding the ball. Brayshaw with the free kick. 50 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
I wouldn't say they're super consistent with these free kicks. I agree the kick was there. But there's been a couple of other occasions when the split-second decision hasn't been given.
The drop punt on its way. It's fading away, but it comes back enough, I think.
Hit the post.
It's a goal. Brayshaw sunk it from 50 metres, and the scoreboard's tied up at 3-3 apiece after 3.5 minutes into the second quarter.
The second goal to Brayshaw. And I thought he'd hit the post. I saw the post move, and obviously one of the players was very close to the post. And there's the post you can see wobbling, and obviously one of the players must have run into it. Good goal that from Brayshaw, because goals with this breeze not all that easy to kick today. Claremont kicking with whatever breeze there is in this quarter. Brayshaw getting the distance.
Keane charges up with O'Connell. Keane wins the tap straight down the throat of Pike. He loses it to Allen. Good smother from Hutchison. Booted forward by McDougall. Hovey over the top of Lee. Didn't give away a kick though. In goes Jones. Hand passes it forward. Chance now for Povey. With him is Lee. Povey knocks it away. It comes to Beers. He's tackled by Hetty.
Good handball.
Crumbs come to Pike. He feigns the hand pass. He's in trouble now. He gets it away to Lewis. Lewis kicks up towards the members' wing. It bounces just inside the line, and that'll be a boundary throw-in.
Lovely handball from Grant Povey. Just headed up for Pike. I thought Pike was very wasteful. He's got to be more direct than he was then.
The Bicentennial Grand Final up for grabs. Keane beating O'Connell, but James is strong. So is Taylor. He's burrowing in, so is Dargy. It's scrambling football, and umpire O'Reilly has no option but to bounce it down.
Well, the players are still going in pretty heavy. Not a great deal of opportunity for good footy at the moment.
Almost 5 minutes gone in the second quarter. Keane, again he beats O'Connell. Brian Taylor shakes it. Now Dargy gets away from Neesham. He got a high tackle. Play on now though. The kick towards half forward. Georgiades gets it to Hetty. Hetty screws it towards the edge of the square. Freeman's there. Can he soccer it forward? Yes! That's a goal! Freeman's goal. His second for the match. Subiaco back in front. They lead by one straight kick at the 6-minute mark of the second quarter.
What a great solo effort by Todd Freeman. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities this afternoon. He's got two opponents to beat, and doesn't he do it superbly? Kept control of the ball, was running towards the goals all the time, only had to get some part of his boot to it, and he did that. And that's a wonderful opportunist goal from Todd Freeman, a very handy one into this breeze.
Freeman back in form. That's a good sign for Subiaco. Up goes Keane. O'Connell rides in, but Keane takes full possession. He's killing them at the moment, Keane. Rising high was Jones, but he knocked it straight down to Thorne. Over the top to Allen was a hand pass. Set him up. Consequently, Keane knocked him out of the contest. Carpenter boots Subiaco forward. Freeman hooks it towards full forward. Jennings. He runs into an open goal and puts it through. Jennings has booted Subiaco's 5th goal of the match. They're 5-3. They lead by two straight
sensational in the middle. Who did he take out? Allen had the ball, and he was met by the leading tower of Pisa. He wondered what he'd run into, and the ball spilling out, and we saw it beautifully played again by Bremen, and he certainly kicked it to Jennings. He screwed it back brilliantly, and Jennings just on the ground at quarter time, kicking a great goal.
Subiaco against the breeze and doing the attacking. There's the bounce. O'Connell and Keane. Keane wins it down. It's tied up by Allen, though, in the middle of the ground. With him is Lee. Two brilliant young players.
They have a real problem, I reckon, Claremont, because Keane is slap-bang in form. He's taken on everybody at the moment, and O'Connell's the only one that Claremont have got left that could play in the ruck.
Higgins is off the ground. Again, Keane wins it, but not a decisive tap. Knocked on by Lee. Down to Beers, tackled by Jones. He loses it, but he was ridden into the ground, according to the umpire. Beers with the free kick. Defensive side of the circle. Good-looking drop punt. Chance for Brayshaw. With him is Brown. Chance for Michael O'Connell now, but he's robbed by Bryce. He gets a half-distance kick away to Taylor. Over the top he goes. Now it's with Dargy. Out wide, Lee. He met Povey. Kick it. Spins out of trouble. Jones, a loose tackle. That's a free kick to young Dale Pickett of Claremont.
Well, it's not a day for centre-half forwards for Serbia, because Jones is now giving away free kicks. That's 2 in a row he's given away.
The short pass is on. Claremont go forward through David O'Connell. Up towards half-forward, Armat from the back. Now a chance for Hutchinson. With him is Neesham. Oh, great bounce for Neesham. Lacks a fortune. Kicks towards the edge of the square. McDougall. With him is Allen. Will it almost a chance? Now it's Bryce who got a hand pass away from Kemp. And Subiaco out of trouble as Taylor tracks it to the boundary. Keeps it in play and kicks it forward. It bounces just inside the line. Brilliant. Between the right centre wing and right half forward for Subiaco.
Brilliant. He gained 50 metres with that kick, but the Subiaco defence is outstanding at the moment. Not any one player, but collectively they're superb.
Jones and O'Connell from the boundary throw in. O'Connell brings it down to the front towards Ham, but he can't keep it in play.
Big Laurie Keane cools his heel around about centre-half back.
O'Connell's doing all the ruck work for Claremont.
He's got to. Wonder if they could use Malesso in the forward line, Ken.
He wins the tap easily, punches it straight to Carpenter. Jennings in trouble. Now it's with Pike, shovels it towards the boundary line, and playing for touch was Lewis.
Well, there's going to be some tired boys out there by 5 o'clock tonight. Very hot conditions, 29 degrees in Perth just prior to the start of play.
O'Connell works his way to the front. Jones gets the tap. Shark by Pike. He hooks it around the corner for Brayshaw. Attacking side of the square. He kicks towards full forward. Molesso and Willett. The ball allows the bounce. They both lost their footing. First to recover was Molesso. He's got the footy and he's got the goal. Great strength, Peter Molesso.
The goal doesn't count. Umpire Phil O'Reilly says that Molesso has to go back and take a free kick for being held in an earlier incident.
Righto.
Well, maybe not a bad decision when you think about it. He could have paid the advantage rule, but did it appear as though Molesso had the advantage? He was being harassed, wasn't he? Yes. Very strongly. And I think umpire O'Reilly made the decision not to pay the advantage rule. He's got to make a very quick decision, and I'll go along with him here. I think that's a good decision.
Not if it's not a goal.
Well, it's a good decision whether he kicks it or not.
Well, the Claremont supporters don't like it. Molesso lining up, he should kick it. He's only 20 metres out. What's he done with it? Yes. The result's the same, Keith. So Ledger squares as Claremont go to 4-3. They trail by 1 goal at the 11-minute mark of the second quarter.
Yeah, that's a very difficult one for the umpire. You've got to feel for the umpires in those situations because they don't have a lot of time to think when calling the advantage rule. And at that stage when Molesso went forward, he was under all sorts of pressure. It was a magnificent solo effort as it turned out, but the umpire had made his decision as Joe Armat comes off the field. Who replaced him, Ken?
Peter Higgins back on.
That's good news for Claremont.
O'Connell still on the ball. Awkward bounce. Keane wins the tap, though. There's plenty of Claremont players there. Allen, hand pass to Neesham, confronted by McDougall. He gets the kick away towards Pike. With him is Hutchinson, but the boundary line beats them both.
And Neesham has to look at the number of the player that put him down.
And he'll remember it too.
For 25 years he'll remember it, wouldn't he? Keane at the back of O'Connell. Works his way to the front, tried to take clean possession, but O'Connell has given away the kick. What are the stats on Big Laurie, Ken?
3 marks. This is his 8th kick, and he's made 9 effective ruck knockouts and 2 effective hand passes. And what a dominant player.
Kicks a flower bag punt, drops short, and lands with his marksman, David O'Connell.
O'Connell's 4th mark, and he's also coming in for his 8th kick.
Both players having a big influence on this game. Keane from the back, Brayshaw, knocked away by James. Again, Keane gets it down to Kemp. Kemp kicks it forward, but straight into the waiting arms of Beers. Now, Subiaco just starting to fall down a little bit there at half forward.
Yeah, they're not getting their kicks away at all. They're a bit too hurried, not having a look.
Dargy lets it go for Brown.
Defence is on top.
Very strongly at the moment. That's not a good kick. Neesham will mark. It was meant for Neil Taylor. Neesham wants to be careful. He goes looking for Malesso. With him is Willett. Malesso, a brilliant mark. Strength. Ability.
He's playing the ball now. That's good news for Claremont.
Look at the mark. What a great mark over the top of Willett.
Yep, it was. And he would be too strong for Willits, I would think, in a marking contest, as he was then.
20 metres out. 60-degree angle. He's missed it. Not a good kick from Peter Malesso. Claremont 4-4-28, Subi 5-3-33.
What a pass from Gerard Neesham coming in too.
Yeah, oh, he's been magnificent. But what a great mark by Malesso. The good news, Ken, for you Claremont supporters is that he's starting to play the ball. He's forgot about all that rough stuff, got it out of his system. No doubt Gerard Neesham had to talk to him at quarter time, and he's starting to look very dangerous.
Watching the grand final live on ABC television throughout Western Australia. Hope you're enjoying the coverage at the moment. We've got a great match. Willett goes to Neil Taylor. What are his stats, Ken? Neil Taylor.
It's his 7th kick.
There it is.
Played.
Carries Georgiades, who used his body on Morton. And he bring it up. He's got the bounce now to favour him, but he's cornered. He's lost it now to hand. That was indecision then from Georgiades, which is uncharacteristic of his play so far in the final round series.
Well, I give full marks to Noel Morton there. He was outmanoeuvred, but he got back into the contest very quickly indeed.
So did Hand.
And he blocked off Georgiades' left side.
Higgins is back on. He wins the tap. Down towards Jennings, though, or is it Heady? Heady it is at ground level. In they go on top of the footy, and in comes umpire O'Reilly to separate the players.
Well, it's not very fancy football, but it's tough. It's real tough. And I've just got a feeling that Laurie Keane is going to need a bit of support shortly. He's showing a few signs to me. He's done a lot of work already.
Higgins over the top of him. Owens has got it. Through the traffic to Povey. On it goes to Allen. He goes out wide to the runner. Thorne. Can he bring it in? He's met by Kemp, but half-heartedly. He comes back to win the footy, but he's brought down by Carpenter, and now Kemp's got it. So
kick the ball
there for Subiaco. He didn't have anybody to kick it to. That's why he was undecided. Now it's at Beers' feet. He gets it to kick it. Claremont can build something up. Kick it, finessing. Goes to David O'Connell. Brilliant hand pass. He hooks it towards Malesso. No mark this time. Sparks clears it away, and Neil Taylor's got the footy.
Lux a fortune. Here comes Kemp.
Up towards the half-back line, and Brown's taken the mark. He cuts inboard for Subiaco, and then he hooks it around the corner. That wasn't good play. He wrong-footed his own man, Dargy, and Lewis now gets it to kick it. Kick it goes on towards O'Connell. He's met by McDougall and loses it. Morton met by Brown. He's lost it. Great courage by Jennings. That's a free kick. Mick Jennings.
Keane is in the 4-forward pocket having a spell. He's looking tight. Jones is doing the rucking, and I reckon Georgiades is badly needed at centre-half forward.
Carpenter's got the mark.
Jones not the answer at centre-half forward.
Right centre wing, he plays on. The kick's not a good one. He was knocked off it by Thorne. Coming out to meet the football down there for Subiaco was Breman. Knocked away by Scott, though, from Lee.
Go back.
With Brian Taylor. He kicks it back from where it came. Chance for Subiaco's Keane. With him was Owens at the front. Povey's got the crutch, loses it to Owens. Owens is undecided. Now it's with the general. Defensive side of the square. He's looking for someone to give it to. O'Connell's the target. With him is Sparks. It's out in front of Michael O'Connell. They track it towards the boundary. O'Connell got a favourable bounce. 45 metres out. He kicks towards the goal line and puts it through for the minor score.
Beautifully played by Michael O'Connell. Showed a lot of experience in. A lot of finesse, and couldn't find the big opening.
16 minutes gone.
Georgiades is now into centre-half forward. Keane is in a full-forward pocket. I think Subi will get better value out of Georgiades there, even though Noel Morton is providing very good opposition.
Willett Goes looking for McDougall.
Great
Up he
kick.
goes to take the mark in front of Kickett.
Great kick that.
Dougal's had his 8th kick, but his disposal's been fairly ordinary this afternoon.
That's a better kick. Torpedo punt at the back. Brayshaw with him is Jones. Jones first to recover. Gets a loose hand pass away, but Dargy pulls it in. He puts it out in front of Georgiades. Great mark. Cuts inboard. Goes to Big Laurie. Laurie hooks it around the corner. It's to the edge of the square. Bremen got an awkward bounce. And the ball eludes Scott and Bremen and Beers. And that's a boundary throw in.
And immediately Georgiades looks far more at home, doesn't he, at centre-half forward?
I don't know why he wouldn't have been there from the start.
Very hard to gauge, but we see another change being made. Begovic coming on and James going off.
Owens gets in front to win the tap down to Morton. Through the traffic to Povey, and Claremont are out of trouble as the coach has taken the mark. Neesham steadies the play. There's Peter James. Over the top, Lewis. Run down by Jennings. With the hand pass, was got away to Allen. He draws a player. Brayshaw's in trouble. Gets it back to Allen. Allen's better gained by Jennings. He's a tiger. Still he goes. And now he's met by Brown. Allen had the kitchen sink thrown at him. And finally they lose it towards Kemp, who puts Subiaco out of trouble. What a great football match. Georgiades hooks it around the corner, but Owens in the way. Owens in the way. Lewis set up. McDougall coming in late, but the mark has been paid to Cam Lewis.
Players are making enormous ground to get in the contest. Gee, they're really desperate out there.
Hand pass laid off to Thorne. Thorne kicks to centre half forward. Pike is there with him. Hutchinson punched away from Pike. This is Hand. Hand's kicked towards the forward line. Allen traps it well. Runs away from him though. Bryce in to mop up for Subiaco. Goes playing for touch. That's a boundary throw in. Good play again by the Subiaco defence.
They've been superb. They really have. And yet you can't pick a star there, but when you look at Bryce and Sparks and Brown and Willits, gee, they put it together.
33 plays 29.
Great knock.
Neesham's got it from the knock from Higgins. Pike is set up. He kicks towards the square. Malesso's there with Willett. Malesso almost a great mark. It's been paid.
Free kick for holding the man.
He's paid the free kick. It's free kick for the mark.
Yeah, free kick for holding the man. And Malesso becoming a danger man. He's too strong.
He took the mark anyway.
Yeah, he's too strong. And now Hayden Button has a bit of a problem there. Willits knows where he must be, but he just can't get to the front.
Malesso kicks his second goal. Claremont hit the front in the grand final. They go to 5-5-34. Subia 5-3-33. Nearly 19 minutes gone. 2 goals to Peter Malesso.
Yes, I think I'd be inclined to get Clint Brown back there. He's a more experienced key defender. Willits has been more a pocket man and a spare parts man. And I'd be inclined, if Willits has got to play in a key position, to get him out the centre half back on Brayshaw, because Malesso in the confined spaces of the square, he just looks too strong for Willits.
And that's the first time Claremont have had their noses in front in the 1988 grand final.
And Ken Casellas rubs his hands.
Lead by 2 points at the moment. Higgins up. Beaten by Jones. Carpenter overran it. Jones picks it up and gives it to Neil Taylor on the crest. He boots Subiaco up towards Georgiades. With him is Morton. No mark taken, but good defensive work by Morton. And that's a boundary throw in 50 metres around from Subiaco's goal on the scoreboard side of the ground.
No doubt that Georgiades definitely looks far more at home at centre half forward. He's moving into the right position where he looked completely lost on a half forward flank.
Keane and Higgins, the big guns up from the back. Beers wins the tap though. This is Carpenter with him Povey. Heady there too for Subiaco. And lending support, Georgiades. Great work by Povey. Well read by Neil Taylor though. Carpenter gets it back to Heady. Oh, that's a very ordinary attempt to go forward. Here's Joe Brown.
Flemington Racecourse. What's on here? Subi's kick with a free kick, Trev.
What for, I don't know. It's with Carpenter. From right centre wing, he kicks it into the pocket. Lewis is there with Jennings. Pair of 17s. Jennings wins front position, but loses the football now. Beers, hand pass smothered. Comes back to Owens. He's safe. He goes for Scott. And Claremont should rebound strongly here. Look at the run in Scott. He's already made 35 metres, now 40. He's on the wing. He's made 55 metres. He gets a loose hand pass away to Begovic, who cleverly knocks it in for Thorne. He's met by Hutchinson.
Great tackle.
Should have been holding the ball. Finally he gets it away to Pike. Hand pass smothered by Jones. Charging out of the ball, David O'Connell. Boundary throw in 55 metres around, this time from the Claremont goal.
That's a fair effort by Graham Jones then. A tackle, a smother, another tackle.
There's the throw in. Won by Jones, but straight to the boundary. Gee, the crowd's built up even further, Keith. There must be close to last year's crowd of 32,000.
I think easily. There's a player coming off, Trent. He doesn't look too good. He's got a hand injury, I would think.
Brett Heady.
Young Heady, is
Heady's hurt. Play goes on.
Dougal's kick. Heldman not in possession. Cocker back on the field. One last chance to redeem himself.
Subiaco going backwards.
But Brown's got the football. They should repel the attack. Hutchison. Now he goes to the other side of the ground. This is Hutchinson. Carpenter. That was a good build-up. The kick out wide. Cocker's just come on.
Oh, he
Across
pushed
the
it.
centre. He'll be met now by Higgins, but he's backed himself to outrun him, and he does. The kick's across towards Bremen, but chipping in brilliantly is Hovey, one of the best defenders in the league today.
Yeah, and an opportune mark, that one, because Subi had players everywhere.
Let's see the mark. He went looking for Bremen, but Hovey was in the way.
Yeah, good strong mark that by Hovey.
Now it's with Hand. Left centre wing for Claremont.
He's clever.
He kicks towards the full forward line. Pike is there. With him is Hutchinson. Now it's Hutchison. He gives it to Hutchinson, and Subiaco out of trouble. Jones across the half-back line. Carpenter. He goes wide to Taylor. Now Subi can build something up. He's got the run of Bryce out wide. Good play by the defender. He kicks towards half-forward. Cocker, spoiled from behind by Beers. Allows Thorne in. He's close to the boundary. Run out by Dargy.
Yeah, Cocker is very ordinary form.
Almost like he's carrying an injury, Keith.
Yeah, he's got to get him onto the ball and get him working.
Well, he's got his chance now, but Higgins beats him. The whistle sounds. Cocker with a free kick. He may get a bit of confidence from
Yes,
this.
he might, but he's got to give him the responsibility. Laurie Keane has got tired, and don't blame him. And he's in a forward pocket. Jones is doing the rucking, but I think he should give it a Cocker and get Jones down in the key position.
Claremont by 2 points. Cocker to full forward. Keane in front from the back. Morton, no mark. No, Owens it is. He's been paid the free kick. Owens, he's been reliable. What are his stats, Ken?
8 kicks and 2 effective hand passes. That was a beautifully effective kick there, picking out John Scott.
Yes, replay of almost the same what happened a few moments ago. Up goes the player in the pack, Brayshaw, no mark taken. Begovic tried to knock it on. It comes to McDougall. Hand passes away. Hutchison gets it across to Kemp. Neil Taylor now. He goes short. Carpenter. Carpenter drives them forward. 60-metre kick. Jennings is there with Lewis. Claremont have got plenty of backup. Jennings is doing well at ground level. It's tunnel balled out. Breeman's got it for Subiaco. Kicks across the ground.
Oh.
Dargy at centre half forward.
Unbelievable.
Dargy to Cocker. Can he kick a goal, the big man? No. He spins out of trouble. Runners up again. Cocker. Brilliant. Great play by Shane Cocker.
I don't believe it.
Oh, that should give him some confidence, Keith.
How did he get away from the tackle?
He backed himself not once, but twice.
Oh, dear. Well, I'll tell you what, he's backed a few losers today, but he's backed the winner at last. And how he got free of all those tackles, I would never know. But what an opportunist goal. He has the ball. He prompts. Neesham he eludes. Beers he eludes. Back come the Claremont defence all too late. Cocker's kicked the beauty. One of the goals of the game.
Subiaco back in front by 4 points. We're about to go into time on in the second quarter of an electrifying grand final. Jones lost his footing. Higgins is in trouble. Lost it to Jones, but it's holding the ball. Fierce tackle was put on by Lee.
Yeah, bad luck. He was fighting real hard for Claremont there, I thought.
Subiaco looked good as they go forward again. Keane's in front. Too tall. No mark paid. Beers. Keane's still there. He gets it out towards Jennings now, 50 metres from goal. Neil Taylor runs into Hand. It jars towards Carpenter, who soccers it forward. It eludes Morton and Georgiades, but Georgiades keeps it in. The snap would be the snap of the year, but he's missed it.
1 point. Big Laurie on all fours there, did very well, didn't he? Got it out to Jennings.
5 points in favour of Subiaco. 1 minute of time on gone. Brilliant day, a great scene at Subiaco Oval. Scott puts the ball back into play. Chance for Dargy, almost a clever mark. Jones to Crumbs, he's met by Neesham. Look at the Tiger, though, going back, Dargy. Knocked away by Carpenter. Straight to hand, he's in trouble. Gets a hand pass to Kickett. On it goes Thorne, tackled by Neil Taylor. Oh, Kent got an awkward bounce, so did David O'Connell. Great hand pass by Hutchinson. Sends Lee away. He goes inboard to Dargy, pointed the square. He goes right across the ground. It wasn't a good kick. Hands camped underneath it and takes the mark. Why he went there?
George Young got in the way. That's what happened. The Subi runner got in the way.
Hickett's got it. Little chip pass. Higgins in the middle. Tackled strongly. The hand pass towards Thorne. He's tackled by Neil Taylor. Comes to Pike. Pike runs to 50 metres. The kick on goal is fading away to the near side and through for the minor score. Perhaps it deserved a better fate.
Yes, I thought he should have done better, but George Young definitely got in the way of the Subiaco player then, and it obscured his vision. But by the same token, Subiaco are really going crossways, aren't they? In fact, they're almost confusing Claremont with science here.
4 points in favour of Subiaco.
Oh, what?
Kicks over the head of Bryce. He's got the backup of Kemp. The hand pass is meant for Bryce, and they'll clear it away. Subiaco out of trouble there. Georgiades and Morton. He's caught.
Holding the ball.
He hand passed it away, so the umpire allowed him the benefit of that. Breeman kicks it forward. Owens is in the way, though, for Claremont. Long hand pass to Thorne on the crest. He goes looking for Brayshaw. Knocked away by Brown. Back comes Brown. He's forced the hand pass away. Holding the ball, or is it holding the man? No, he's paid holding the man.
Correct decision.
3 minutes of time on. 4 points in favour of Subiaco. Brown kicks towards the wing. Cocker from the back. In front was Owens. Cocker best to recover. Paddles it towards the boundary. Scott keeps it in. Gives it to Hand. He goes up along the boundary and finds Pike. Claremont can build something up. Begovic is loose. He goes forward of him. Into the pocket. O'Connell. Allen at the back. Now Willett. Subiaco repelled the attack again. Only as far as Higgins, who got an awkward bounce. Breeman gets a hand pass away. Subiaco go forward through Taylor. The mark taken by Scott, who's been brilliant in defence. He puts it out in front of Povey. Got a bad bounce. He's good enough to recover, though. Gives it to Hand. Hand goes into the pocket. Up from the back, O'Connell. Chance for David O'Connell. Tracking the ball to the boundary. Was he held?
No.
Not according to the umpire. Boundary throw in. 50 metres around from the Claremont goal.
Well, it's been a top first half. It really has been top footy.
Connell hold on to do the ruck work. Jones almost possession.
Played.
Kemp's kick smothered by Begovic. Thorne right full forward pocket. Pulls it across. Kick it. Spoiled by Brown. It was Brayshaw. Allen dispossessed by Hutchison. Bryce's hand pass smothered by Allen. And it's half time. Look at the crowd. So at half-time, Subiaco lead by 4 points. Subiaco 6-4, 40. Claremont 5-6, 36. Eddie and Sparks, you saw, off the ground. Ticketed Michael O'Connell for Claremont. Third quarter got underway. No clean tap. Thorne's kick smothered by McDougall. Chance for Thorne again. Again, his kick is smothered, though. Pulled off the kick in the middle of the ground was Hutchinson. In goes Neesham. At the bottom of the pack, as always, is Mick Lee, and that's another bounce.
Gee, that was desperate play by Mick Lee. Neesham had the ball. He just dived straight into the Neesham. Made sure he blocked the play.
Very important term of football, this one. Clean possession, tackled by Ahmad, gets it away to Hutchinson.
Great smother.
Kick smothered by Neesham. Hutchison butters up again, and the good mark, clever mark taken by Jennings. He plays on quickly, but the kick is wild. McDougall, though, spins out of trouble, but he loses the football. It comes back towards Carpenter. Good shepherding by Brian Taylor allows Carpenter to go to half forward. Dargy pushed out of the contest by Begovic. Cocker and Owens both got bad bounces. Back comes Cocker. Threads a hand pass to Lee. Lee from 40 metres. Sets it up for Georgiades. May have been up the side of the boot, Keith, but it was lucky.
Well, Noel Morton had conceded that the shot would be taken on goal by Mick Lee, and he'd run to the square. He'd ignored Georgiades and left him 10 metres clear.
20 metres out. Left foot drop punt. Splits the middle for Subiaco. They're away to a great start in the third quarter, and they really are taking up this grand final to Claremont. Before the start of the game, Claremont was 6-4 on favourites, and Subiaco are 5-4. But Subiaco have played this grand final just like they've started favourite.
Well, they played it like a button football team. That's how they played it. Just relentless perseverance, dogged determination, sheer courage. And I thought Mick Jennings showed courage then to come in and take a strong mark in the middle of a pack. The temperature, Trev, today 31.9, so 29 to start, now 31.9. That's very hot indeed. Thought it was well played by Shane Cocker too. It was he that pushed it out to Mick Lee.
Subiaco going with that breeze that you just saw, blowing down to the right-hand side of your screen. Keane, a big thump. It comes to Beers though. He kicks it straight up in the air towards the crest on the outer side of the ground. A foot race on. Bryce will be the first to arrive. Good shepherding from Leon Armat. Allows Bryce to get his kick in. A chip pass finds Bremen.
Bremen out at centre-half forward, I'd suggest.
He kicks up towards the 50-metre line. Scott in front. Cocker over the top, almost a great mark. It comes to Morton. He spins away from Jones and gets it to Pike. Pike's kicked to half forward. Carries, oh no, it didn't carry Allen. A good mark. Ben Allen. Been a bit quiet today, Ken.
Yes, he only had one kick and 4 hand passes in the first half. This is Ben Allen's second kick for the match.
Yeah, good mark that.
Allen onto the right boot. Towards full forward. It falls a bit short, almost the mark to Malesso. Knocked away by O'Connell to Brayshaw, who fumbled. Coming through strongly is James. He tunnel balls towards Armat. Armat's got it in the right full forward pocket. His kick up towards the edge of the square. Willett knocks it away from the pack. Now it's Kemp. Hand passes to his own advantage. Then cuts inboard. Good play. Now Big Lorry. Booms it up towards the centre. And it lands with Jones.
Luck is a fortune.
Jones kicks it out wide. Bremen making ground. He's made it in time.
No, he's starting to play pretty well.
Looks as though he's at centre-half forward.
Yes, he is.
Into the pocket. Cocker.
That won it. Oh, he ran away from it. Golly. Shane Cocker's judged in a bit of stray today, but he deliberately let the ball bounce. He could have at least got it on the half volley and maybe marked it. But Bremen, yeah, he's playing at centre-half forward. He's had 2 kicks in the first 2 minutes.
John Scott's still his opponent.
Cocker wins the tap, comes back to him, tries to burst through the traffic. Now Lewis. Scrambling football. Jennings got it out towards Morton. Morton plays for touch.
Oh.
Throw it in, says umpire Johnson.
I reckon he had a second thought, umpire Johnson. Thought, well, it's a grand final. Maybe he didn't deliberately knock it out of bounds.
Higgins, beautiful palm to Neesham. Neesham's kick's loose, out of bounds on the full.
Bit of undisciplined play by Neesham. We don't see that often. Georgiadis wants it in long.
Brian Taylor kicks towards Georgiadis from the back. Morton knocks it away cleverly. Johnson got in the way. Povey gives it to Pike. Claremont out of trouble. Although Bryce, no, it carries Bryce. With him now is Allen. They're fighting for the ball out towards the wing. In chips Taylor. Pushed off the kick. May have just landed in. Yes, a boundary throw in between left half forward and left centre wing for Subiaco.
Another one of those little shoves as you're kicking the ball that the players get away with, right in the middle of the back. And really, Neil Taylor should have received a free kick.
Brayshaw doing the ruck work. Keane too tall for him. Thumps it forward for Subiaco. Scott the first to arrive. They can't keep it in play, but it's now about 65 metres around from the Subiaco goal.
I thought halfway through the second quarter that Keane was very nearly a spent force, Trev. He's obviously refreshed a bit now.
Neesham chips in front of Jones. Hand pass lands with Lee. Lee's kick into the pocket. Lewis going back with a flight and almost a clever mark. But now it's a boundary throw in 50 metres away from goal.
I'm not sure there's a great wind advantage to Subiaco in this quarter, but I think whatever there is, it's favouring the end they're kicking too slightly.
This time it's Cocker and Higgins. Cocker brings it down, but Lewis sharks it. Feeds it off to Scott. He's got plenty of time. He's back to Jones. Now he goes back to Neesham, who didn't expect that. He's got all the time in the world, though, to pick it up. Then bullet-like pass out towards Hand at half forward, but he won't track it in before the boundary line. But Neesham didn't expect that to come back to him.
Well, it shouldn't have. That's not the way Claremont play. And I thought it was a great chase by Graham Jones. He really put his head down and eventually did apply pressure.
Subiaco, now it's Keane. Oh, great possession.
Dominating.
Too strong there. Carpenter kicks Subiaco up to the half-forward line. Georgiadis and Morton wrestling. Georgiades met by Higgins.
Well played.
Morton's got the crumbs. He runs into Lee. The ball spills towards Povey. Povey boots Claremont out of trouble. Prodigious kick to half forward. From the back, Brown, the leaper. Now a chance for James in the pocket. In come the Subiaco troops. Taylor and Hutchison. That's a boundary throw in.
I thought Higgins played very well to chop Georgiades off just a few moments ago. Used his body splendidly, and of course Georgiades at that stage was wheeling onto that left foot. Had he got through Higgins, he would have gone very close to kicking a goal. Good play by the big fella.
7 minutes gone in this third term. O'Connell beats Keane. Dumps it 20 metres towards the Claremont goal, and the boundary throw in now alongside the behind post.
I reckon he's got to think about resting Keane. He'll need him in the last quarter, and Cocker to me seems to have come to life a little in this quarter.
Again, Keane beats O'Connell, but he knocked it straight to Begovic. Snapshot by Begovic. It's close. Touched. Touched ball.
The Claremont supporters saw two hands come up then, and then we saw the signal for touch ball.
9 points the difference in favour of Subiaco. 7-4-46. Claremont 5-7-37. The kick back into play by Willett finds Brown. Brown rebounding out of defence. Kicks towards the members' wing. Georgiades and Morton. The ball bounces in front of Morton. Allows McDougall in. So is Hutchinson. Hand pass out in front of Georgiades. Wasn't a good one. Allows Scott into the play. Hutchinson comes back. Scott knocks it straight to Carpenter. Carpenter with good vision. Sets it up. But Allen chips in. Indecision from the Georgiades and McDougall. Allen keeps it in play.
Well
Feeds Scott. Met by Carpenter. He's forced to hand pass it away though. Thorne with him is Brian Taylor, and that'll be a boundary throw in.
Two players who were down in the first half, Ben Allen and Shane Cocker, starting to come into the game a little.
The underdog Subiaco lead Claremont in this grand final. Keane, Higgins got the tap. Neesham trying to barge through. Keane dispossessed by Neesham. Jones gets it to Lee. Lee's kicked to half forward. Jennings up from behind Lewis. Chance for Bremen. Through the traffic to McDougall. Spiral torpedo is a beauty. No. Fades away. One behind only. That was a kick from 55 metres, Keith.
He doesn't miss often either, does he? But what a splendid piece of play again by Todd Bremen, who's already had, what, 3 possessions in this quarter at centre-half forward.
Yes. Scott, brilliant kick back into play for Neesham. Now the chaser is McDougall. No, that's a free kick to Neesham. No doubt about that. Held but not in possession by the enthusiastic Subiaco centreman Brad McDougall. Neesham goes across the ground. Higgins pulls in a finger tipper. Then with a bullet-like pass for Hand. Carpenter though read it well. Back comes Hand. Tackled by Carpenter. Holding the ball.
That's great pressure football, Subiaco. Sensational stuff. Carpenter making great ground.
And a good one today. There's a call from Bremen. He's right in the middle of the ground. Offloads a 65-metre drop punt. Cocker! At the front though is Owens. Morton hand passes away. Paddling it forward is Georgiades. Neesham goes in with a sucker, kicking in danger. That's an expensive mistake by Jared Neesham, and the pressure shows on his face at the moment.
Well, that's quite incredible. We haven't seen kicking in danger all season, and twice today the umpires have been consistent. But Ken, that's a big change of heart by umpires. We've been talking about it a lot, but we haven't seen it all season.
And the player there, Keith, did pull his kick. Neesham definitely pulled his kick, and there wasn't a tremendous amount of danger there.
No, but it was in the true sense of kicking in danger.
Technically it was.
Yeah, Brad McDougall in a bit of trouble, you saw. Georgiades, 45 metres out. The drop punt's on its way. It looks good. Great kick, John Georgiades. 50-metre goal. His second of the match. And Subiaco increase their lead now as we played 10 minutes in this third quarter. They're 8-5-53. Claremont 5-7-37.
Second for the quarter to John Georgiades. And a little bit of luck involved in that because the umpires playing a kicking in danger decision. There's only been 2 decisions given today for that. In fact, there's only been 2 kicks in danger, both been given. So the umpires have obviously decided that they've got to eliminate that from the game. I agree with it, but it's pretty tough to bring it in after in a season, in the grand final of a season, that free kick hasn't been paid hardly at all.
Battle again continues in the centre circle. Keane up with Higgins. Keane wins the tap. Overrun by Claremont. Subiaco's Dargy boots it forward. Freeman, has he come to life?
Possession number 5 for the quarter.
4th mark for the quarter.
Oh, he didn't get onto the kick. It falls short. Scott got a bad bounce. Owens didn't. Trapped it cleverly. Gets around Cocker. Kicks back towards half-back. Chance here for Claremont over the top. Freeman. Hovey now in front of Carpenter. He paddles it away. It's straight into the hands of Hutchinson. Hutchinson kicks back towards full forward. Cocker and Owens at the back. Morton knocks it away. Georgiades sockles it away from Lewis. Now he's got to track it out to the boundary.
You've got to push in the back.
Yeah, no free kick. Pike's got it. Kicks it forward. Tracked well by Dargy. He runs back into Pike. Subiaco,
thank you.
Claremont players that collide. Begovic into Lewis. Now Lee's got it. Up in the air to Cocker. Knocked away by Owens. This is desperation. Higgins dispossessed by Jones. Lee goes in for Subiaco, and umpire comes in, umpire O'Reilly, to bounce it down.
And the defence of both sides has been absolutely outstanding. We saw Claremont a few moments ago early in the quarter have a 4-to-1 situation, not kick a goal, and Subiaco nearly had that again there, and again they couldn't break away.
Up goes Cocker, wins the tap, taken away by Beers, gives it to the general. Neesham puts it out in front of Povey. Defensive 50-metre line. Carpenter comes to meet him. Hand pass smothered by Carpenter. Great play by the Subiaco wingman. You'll get a great round of applause for that, Keith.
Yeah, pretty ordinary play by Povey. Pretty ordinary play. Had plenty of time, and he would have really set something up for Claremont had he got it away.
Subiaco putting pressure on Claremont. Higgins gets Jones under the ball. Jennings knocks it straight down the throat of Hand. Claremont rebounding towards half forward. Chance here for Brayshaw. It bounces away from Brayshaw and Kemp, and that's a boundary throw in about 70 metres around from the Claremont goal.
Because the more Subiaco can keep it in their forward line in this quarter, the more spell they give Laurie Keane, the key man in the game so far.
He's doing the ruck work again here, opposed by Brayshaw. He's far too tall, too clever for Brayshaw. He gets it away to Brian Taylor. The kick into the centre of the ground. Now a foot race on. Povey and Jones. Povey tried to soccer it. Jones wanted it more desperately. He puts it out in front of Lee. He's 55 metres out. Lewis is closing. Lee backed himself to beat Lewis. Lewis did well. Lee first to recover. Hand passes it inboard. This is Dargy, ducking and diving. He kicks it out wide. Georgiades.
That's a brilliant piece of thinking by John Georgiades. A long, sustained lead, and he maintained it. And he kept calling while he kept leading. And Mick Lee, in fact, Dargy heard the call and put it beautifully in front of John Georgiades. He's kicked 2 for the quarter. Can he make it 3? It's got to be a long one. He's 50 metres out. Michael O'Connell goes on.
John Georgiades kicks off the side of the boot. It's into the pocket. Oops. Jones is up. He's taken the mark in front of Higgins. Subiaco can do no wrong at the moment. And in this third quarter of football, they look very good.
Yes, they do, but they've got to make a plus out of it, because if they don't score the necessary goals while they're having a good run, then when Claremont's run comes, then they could find themselves in trouble.
He's on a 75-degree angle. The ruckman punts at goal. What's he done? One behind only.
This is very dangerous, Trevor, when sides are having a run like Serbia are having now, and they don't make a capital of it. And
17 points the margin, Keith.
Yep, it would have been handy to be 23, 24.
Scott puts the ball back into play. Great pass to Owens. He's at half-back. He's going for a run. Cocker's in pursuit, shepherded by Beers. Owens gets around Hutchinson. Hand pass is not a good one. Brian Taylor intercepts, then hooks the ball back towards half-forward. Carpenter and McDougall. Higgins goes straight into Carpenter's back. Should have been a free kick.
Should have been.
Pike handballs it inboard for Claremont. Begovic in trouble. Subiaco desperate. They're more desperate. Jennings emerges. 40 metres out.
Missed.
And he's missed away to the near side. That deserved a goal because Subiaco want the ball more than Claremont.
Yes, they do at the moment, and Claremont defence is making mistakes. Povey, a mistake. And now Owens, a glaring mistake, but Subiaco are not making a plus out of it. They're missing the vital goals.
Scott's kicking back into play. His precision perfect at the moment. Neesham, booed by the crowd, kicks to the wing. Ahmad up, under the ball by Bryce. O'Connell tried to tap it away, didn't make contact. It's It's out of bounds. Who are the leading kick getters in the third quarter, Ken?
Well, Todd Bremen at centre-half forward for Subiaco has taken 4 marks and had 4 kicks in this quarter, and John Georgiades on a flank has taken 2 marks, and he's had 4 kicks in this quarter, and they're 2 men who are firing Subiaco in this quarter.
O'Connell may have beaten Keane for that knock. Ahmad's got it. Feeds the hand pass to Thorne. It hasn't been the Thorne that we know today, Ken.
No, he's definitely not himself. He's ill today, Peter.
I think you left one man out of that side, that group you said, motivating Subiaco, because Laurie Keane has been a tower of strength.
That goes without question, because he dominated play in the first half.
Right.
No clean tap. Ball with Nisham. He's in trouble. Now it's Beers, tackled by Bremen. The tackling's been fierce by Subiaco. Brown's taken the safe mark. Over the top he goes to Willett. Now Subiaco can build something up on the members' wing. Molesso closing on Willett. He hooks it up towards half-back. Allen's in the way. Allen goes across the ground towards half-forward O'Connell. 45 metres out, directly in front.
Magnificent centering kick by Ben Allen.
Claremont supporters are worried. Subiaco lead by 3 straight goals.
But if he kicks this, Trevor, back to 2, and for the play they've had, that's not a very big lead.
Watching David O'Connell. He'll kick from just on 50. Drop punt on its way. It's coming back, but not enough. One behind only. "17 points the margin in favour of the Lions, who look absolutely magnificent here today, taking this game up to the premiership favourites. The kick back into play. Keane from back. No mark taken, but it rebounds back to him. He sends Taylor away with it. Oh, the bounce was a fickle one. However, coming in strongly was Hutchison. Now it's a scramble. Thorne's got it. Nisham. Tackler is Jennings.
Got him.
He gets it away back to Thorne. Begovic. Indecision, but he finally gets around the Subiaco player and kicks into the pocket. O'Connell carries him and out of bounds.
Now, I can't find Bremen. Is he having a run on the ball? Georgiades at centre-half forward. Bremen has played a very good quarter.
Yes, he's down in the back line, Keith.
Must be having a run on the ball, I think.
There's the kick towards half-back. Keane over the top. Lion-hearted Laurie. He's tried to play on. No, he's been given the benefit of the doubt. There's the mark, Keith.
Oh, that's almost the mark of the day, Trev. That's a beauty.
I thought he wanted to play on. Umpire didn't agree with me.
You're right, Trev.
Keane kicks up to the wing. Lewis is there, almost a one-hander. Coming in to beat the ball, Morton with him as Lee. And that's all work for the boundary umpire. 8-7-55, 5-8-38. Subiaco lead at the 20-minute mark of this third term. Jones has got it. Now it's with Jennings. He goes backwards to Bremen.
Now go long, Todd. He can kick it a long way, this boy.
Not a lot of movement. He kicks towards half forward. He puts it out in front of Jones. Scott will arrive to beat him, though. Scott and Jones. Jones recovered well. He's got 2 to beat. Lee comes in to even up. That's another boundary throw-in.
Higgins coming off the field, and Dale kick it going on. And Claremont really do need a goal just to even the ledger a little.
No, decisive tap out of the rucks. Nisham knocks it away, then kicks towards half forward. Michael O'Connell, Pickett's just on the ground. Michael O'Connell paddles it out wide for him. Through comes Brown. He caught him, back to O'Connell. He's tackled by Kemp. Kicked into the face of Carpenter. Rebounds to Brown. Brown, cool in the crisis, finds Bremen. Defensive side of the square. Bremen to half forward. Look at this. Jennings coming to meet the ball though, and he's in trouble. Was Morton. Got it to Beers. Inboard it goes. David O'Connell across the ground to Scott. Claremont are out of trouble. Scott goes out wide and finds Pike. Now he's got a paddock to run in here. He can run the ball up to half forward. He decides to chip it into the pocket and finds Michael O'Connell, who's been paid the mark. Neil Taylor arriving late.
Yes, a nice piece of football, that, coming out of defence. Good rebounding football. That's the first time today we've seen Claremont being able to rebound effectively, because the Subiaco forwards have been applying enormous pressure. But on that occasion, they got their slick hand passing going, and Scott finished it up by finding Pike all by himself out in front of the scoreboard.
Subiaco lead by 3 straight kicks. O'Connell Kick on goal is away to the right-hand side and through, or out of bounds on the full. 55 plays 38. 17 points. The margin in favour of Subiaco as we approach the 22-minute mark of this third quarter. O'Connell up, no mark taken. In goes Ahmad. Begovic is there. The ball tied up inside the 50-metre line, and in comes umpire Johnson as Jennings, the last to emerge from the pack.
A bit unusual, Trev. I'll suggest to have Bremen away from full forward when Subiaco are having their last chance kicking with the breeze.
Keane. O'Connell may have got the tap. He hurt his hand then, David O'Connell, in that encounter. It appears to be okay. Here's the boundary throw in. Again they do battle. Keane over the top. Shark brilliantly by Ahmad. Intercepted though by Hutchison. Gives it to Brian Taylor. Subiaco away again. The kick to half forward. Morton's well placed. No mark taken. Chance now for Subiaco's lead. He tried to knock it on for Georgiades, but Lewis beat him for it. Now it's with Scott, and he finds Hand back to the centre circle. Hand pass to Povey, the runner. Look at him go. Now he kicks towards full forward. It's a good-looking kick. Knocked away from Moresso by Willett. Kick it. Snapped by Kickett. Is away to the near side and through for the minor score only.
I suppose one would have to say, Trev, that now Claremont have had their opportunities in this quarter. They, like Subiaco, have been very wasteful, and I think that would have something to do with the pressure that's being applied out there.
16 points in favour of Subiaco. Bremen has taken the mark from the kick into play. Allen on the mark.
His 7th mark for the quarter.
He's backed himself to get around Allen and does so. He goes out wide and will find Willett, or he should find Willett. He's got the footy now. He runs to half back. Hugs the boundary with the kick. Lee, tumbling mark. Great applause from the crowd out there, as you can see.
100% goer is Mick Lee.
Cal Gould, here's the mark again. Beautiful mark. The kick to the 50-metre line. Jones up. No mark taken. This is Begovic. With him is Georgiades. He knocks it towards the boundary line. Oh. Lewis goes straight through Jones. Scott pulled off the kick. The ball's down with Brian Taylor, and he pinpoints the pass to Big Laurie.
And it had to be right, didn't it? Because James was bearing down.
Keane goes for goal, but it drops short. The ball comes straight to David O'Connell. He gave it to...
he's holding the ball.
A shocking hand pass from David O'Connell, Ken.
Yeah. To a man standing still. That's the worst example of it. Like the Owens was flat-footed, there he is, and Cocker comes in and applies the tackle, and down goes David O'Connell. Down goes
Owens.
Peter Owens, who got that hand pass from David O'Connell.
Well,
but this will test Shane Cocker.
Yes.
He's not the best shot from a standing
30 metres out, on an angle, chips, and chips truly. Cocker kicks his second goal of the game. A timely goal for the Lions. It puts a little bit more pressure now on Claremont. And today we'll find out just how good Claremont is, Keith.
Yes, we will. And magnificently played. Todd Bremen having a great quarter. He really is. And that kick going into Mick Lee. And we saw that handball from David O'Connell. And he's a fairly experienced footballer now. And he shot it straight into Owens, who had nowhere to go at all.
Saw the scoreline. Subiaco looked good. Keane a thump, but Viers intercepts. He kicks to the half-forward line. O'Connell up from behind. No mark taken. It comes to Bryce. He's been a good defender. Brian Taylor now starting to burn. He runs to the middle of the ground. Kicks it out wide. Cockers making ground. Couldn't quite bring it in. He's now confronted by Begovic. He recovers well. He'll send Jennings away here. He runs to the 50-metre line. Left foot's to the square. Georgiades. Subiaco in control of the bicentennial grand final at the 25-minute mark of the third quarter.
Yeah, and you know what's happened in this quarter, Trev? Shane Cocker, one of their better players for the whole season, has really come to life.
Georgiades, shot on goal. No mistake from there. 3 goals for John Georgiades. Subiaco in command in the third quarter as they stretch their lead now to 28 points, 38 points, and are looking very good indeed.
Yep, and another player who's come to life in this quarter is Brian Taylor. He's played an absolutely outstanding quarter of football. I don't know what his stats look like.
6 kicks in this quarter to Brian Taylor.
6 kicks, and they've all been telling kicks. Shane Crocker, who did absolutely nothing in the first quarter other than kick a miraculous goal, has now started a fire. This has allowed Todd Bremen to run on the ball. It's all happening for Subi.
28 points in this piece, the margin. 28 points in favour of Subiaco. Connell, the big leaper. Begovic tackled strongly. Subiaco's tackling's been magnificent. He's tackled there by 3 players, Begovic.
And lucky not to be holding the ball.
Very lucky. 10-7 plays 5-9. Keane, second attempt. Got a whack in the face then, did Laurie. Beers pushed off the kick. Jennings has come to life. Subiaco building something up again. Neil Taylor, the veteran. He goes back of the play. Carpenter. Chip pass. Jennings. Hovey intercepts. Pike through the hands. Lee. Still he goes. Mick Lee. Now he's forced to hand pass it. Handheld. Jones a snap. He's away to the right-hand side. And it goes over the line and out of bounds.
Mick Lee couldn't get the bounce he wanted. The desire was there, the effort was there. Neesham, who's been spelling in the forward line, back into the play. He's not happy with the way it's going.
He's sensing danger here.
Mark Brayshaw coming off.
28 points the difference.
Peter Thorne going on, Brayshaw off.
Georgiades forced a hand pass. Comes back to Cocker. Scrambling football in the pocket. Beers. Allen, can he clear it? He boots towards half-back. At the back, Brian Taylor. Courageous mark.
Brilliant quarter, Brian Taylor. I don't know what he's doing. He's out on a half-back flank. There's the mark. All class. He's been out on a half-back flank all by himself. I don't know who he's supposed to be playing on, but he's had an absolute ball, Brian Taylor.
Siren sounded.
Yep, three-quarter time.
Three-quarter time. The Subiaco supporters roaring their delight. And a brilliant turn by the Lions. They added 4 goals, 3. Claremont added 3 behinds. Can Claremont come back?
Yes, I think they'll come back strongly, but I've got a feeling they're too far behind.
28 points in favour of Subiaco as we turn for home in the Bicentennial Grand Final. Keane and O'Connell. Keane, as he has done all day, dominating. Jones a chance, robbed by Lewis. Great tackle put on him though by Dargy. Thorne dispossessed. Pike trying to barge through. Now Bremen. Bremen hooks towards half forward. Up goes Brayshaw from the back, fists it away. Lewis went without it. Another chance for Bremen, but Lewis was tackled when not in possession. Lewis kicks to the half forward line. Up goes from the back Beers. Now he's been switched, maybe to centre half forward. He kicks up towards the edge of the square, and chipping in to take a great mark is Hutchison. Timely mark that one, Keith.
Certainly. Neil Taylor's loose. Keane is loose, but he's right in the middle of the ground. I don't think he'll go for him.
And John Scott is full forward for Claremont. Peter Malasso off the field.
Nice pass. Kemp is on the end of it. Defensive 50-metre line for Subiaco.
Button was very specific in his instructions at three-quarter time.
A little bit of indecision then from the Subiaco defence. They finally get it out to the wing. Jones carried underneath the ball by Lewis. O'Connell couldn't mark. It's a boundary throw-in right in front of the old scoreboard, which shows Subiaco by 28 points.
I hope Subiaco don't stop attacking as East did in the preliminary final.
No clean tap. Lee trying to burst through. Jones kicks it out on the full.
Chance again for Claremont.
That was pretty ordinary play by the big ruckman.
Yes, they seem to be going for the possession game very early in the quarter.
Povey kicks to half forward.
Oh!
Allen was the flyer. Taylor at the back for Subiaco. Hugs the boundary. Thorne can't keep it in. Taylor was pushed as he kicked. And the free kick to be taken by Neil Taylor.
The umpires have caught up with one of those at last. The blatant push in the back at the moment of kicking.
Up along the wing. Keane's there from the back. O'Connell. Scrambling football. Carpenter there for Subiaco.
Lee.
Shoveled out towards the boundary by Lee. Lewis has got it now for Claremont. He kicks up towards half forward, but Neil Taylor's in the way. Claremont don't look positive when they go forward, Keith.
And Subiaco look like they're quite content to sit on their lead. That is a very dangerous move if that's their thinking.
So Taylor kicks back to the wing. Keane this time. O'Connell the spoiler. Hand at the front of the pack. Now Jones. Fresh air shot from him. The ball tied up almost on the crest on the outer side of the ground. In comes umpire O'Reilly to bounce it down.
Jones's stats won't read very well tonight, but his work in the packs has been quite good. Very effective.
O'Connell over the top. Keane, though, wins the tap. Georgiades fed Bremen. He paddles it nicely. Over the top, he drew James. This is Jennings now. 40 metres out. Bremen followed the play down. He's in the right full forward pocket. He would have to take a miraculous kick. And Owens, right on the goal line, has marked it. That was a very good kick from Bremen.
Why didn't Bremen shoot initially? He was running into an open goal. He had no need to give the ball to Jennings.
That's dangerous by Owens. It'll come off. Morton's got it in between full-back and centre-half back. He's got the run-off of Owens now. Members side of the ground. He goes looking for Brayshaw. With him McDougall. It carries both players. O'Connell's got it. Hand pass over the top to nobody in particular. In comes Thorne. Begovic.
Played.
Back towards Brayshaw. From right half forward, he kicks into the pocket. Chance here at the back. Beers flew. Recovers best. Left foot snap by Tony Beers. Misses to the near side. One behind only for Claremont.
Beautiful bit of recovery there by Tony Beers. Dropped the mark, but hit the ground running. Unfortunately, his kick wasn't accurate.
Brown lays it off to Carpenter into the pocket in the last line of defence. Subiaco captain goes back to Brown. A little bit of crisscross football here from Subiaco. Brown across the half-back line. Chance for Kickett. With him is Hutchison. Still he goes, Kickett. He's in trouble now. He's been caught holding the ball. Claremont supporters don't like that at all. Kemp with the recipient free kick.
There's not enough attack in Subiaco's thinking at the moment, and if they're not very careful, it will bring them undone.
Torpedo punch, a beauty from Kemp. Laurie Keane's underneath it. Lewis now the crumbs. He loses it to Jones, but Lewis was being held. Young supporter there, watching play. Lewis chips it up to half forward, and Michael O'Connell. I agree with you, Keith. Subiaco have gone a bit negative.
Yep.
Michael O'Connell kicks to the pocket. Beers in the pack from the back. Brown fisted away. Armat read the crubs nicely, but couldn't bring it in. Shoveled out by Subiaco. Allen gets it towards Scott. Knocked away to Kickett. Kickett snap on goal. Is over the post. One behind only. Claremont can't find the target.
They'd only have to kick a goal, you know, to really pick up their sagging spirits, Claremont. They need one, and Subiaco are playing a negative keep-it-off game of football.
26 points the margin. Willett to the members' wing. The target is Laurie Keane.
Wraps it up. Best on ground again, the big fellow.
He's finished the season, Keith, like Moss Trooper.
Oh, is he that good?
Left foot drop punt to the wing. Georgiades and Morton. What a great duel that's been today. They both tracked the ball to the boundary. Morton with tremendous desperation then. And John Georgiades, another sterling game today for the Lions.
25 minutes to go, Laurie.
Begovic overruns it. Lewis at ground level. Dargie's in there for Subiaco. So is Morton. Now it's Armat. Brown meets him. Inboard to Thorne, 55 metres out. Kicks it across to the goal face to Measham. Almost a specky. Still he goes. Gives it to Scott. Snapshot by John Scott is across the face and out of bounds on the full. Claremont just can't find the goal square at the moment.
But they're building up something, aren't they? You can feel it building up in Claremont.
Out of bounds on the full.
And Claremont's last 8 scoring shots have been behind us.
That's why they are behind.
Yes, 5 goals 3 they were. Now they're 5 goals 11.
Taylor to the half-back line. Again, the target is Keane. He makes it easily. What are his stats now, Ken?
Laurie Keane, 7 marks, 14 kicks, 16 effective ruck knockouts, 6 effective hand passes. He's like a colossus.
He's tired.
He's nearly had the ball.
That's a tired kick. Almost lands with Kickett. With him is Lee. Lee beats him for it. Knocks it out wide for Georgiades. Back comes Kickett. Dispossessed Georgiades, but held him too long.
The umpire's been good, Trev, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been tops.
Seen a good exhibition of umpiring today.
O'Reilly and Johnson.
Yeah, good choice of umpires. Very pleased to say that.
Georgiades, left foot's towards half forward. Cocker's in the pack, from the back Owens. Jones has got the crumbs. That wasn't a good hand pass. James knocks it away from Cocker. In goes Lewis. He played for touch, then Lewis went straight for the boundary line, Ken. He saw that big white streak, and he paddled the ball out wide.
And the minutes are ticking away for Claremont.
Jones in front. Dargy, Jennings, Lee. Wanted too long. Brian Taylor's got it outside 50. He hooks to the goal square. It's a great kick from Brian Taylor. Oh, bouncing goalward. It's the snapshot of the game. And it may be the goal of the game that wins it for Subiaco. Off the boot of Brian Taylor. Set up brilliantly by Subiaco in a chain of hand passes.
Well, there's no doubt about the goal of the day. There's Mick Lee. All heart and determination. Got a push in the back. Got it over to Taylor. Now, right on the 50-metre line, it always had a chance. He knew there was only a couple down there. And luck's a fortune and had a lovely off break on it. And John Georgiades throws his hands in the air. And Brian Taylor's pretty happy also.
There's the scoreline. 32 points in favour of the Lions. They look good for the bicentennial flag at the moment. Georgiades, they're running Subiaco. Carpenter, he drew the player. And this is Les McDougall loose. The lethal left foot by McDougall is true. It's a great kick. Subiaco are on fire in the final quarter. It's a Subiaco house. And that was a brilliant goal to Brad McDougall.
Yep, good night, Claremont. It's all over. They've cracked wide open. Subiaco going on with the job now. I thought if Claremont had got one on the board, there's Brad McDougall. He doesn't miss too many. Certainly doesn't miss the one that seals the grand final of 1988. But I thought that Claremont were building up to something. They missed the goals they should have kicked. And all of a sudden, Subiaco slipped into overdrive. 2 quick goals. That stitched it up. No risk.
38 points the margin in favour of the Lions. There's a real big Lion. Laurie Keane bundled out of the play. Scrambly football.
Tell you what, Trev, Brian Taylor could win his second Simpson medal. Be either him or Keane at this stage, I'd reckon.
What are Brian's stats, Ken?
2 marks, 14 kicks and 5 effective hand passes, 19 disposals.
Brian Taylor, a great game. Keane also brilliant. Must go close as well, Keith.
They're the only 2 in it for mine, Trev.
Morton's in there. Thorne's been quiet. Georgiades stole the football, and from 45 metres out, if ever there was a sealer, that is it. Subiaco surging away as Georgiades brings up his 4th goal of the match. This is outstanding football. Look at that. That's jubilation.
And they cracked Claremont wide open. They've never been cracked like this all year, and they've been taken to the cleaners. No risk about that. There's John Georgiades, another lethal left footer, and he and McDougall don't miss shots like that. And they're really pumping them on now, and I doubt whether they'll ease up either.
44 points. Thorne's trying to lift his side in the middle of the ground. I think it's too late, Peter. I think the bird is well and truly flown. And that man, John Georgiades, is one of the reasons. So is this man, Keane. Breeman also. He's played a great game for Subiaco. Neesham and Taylor had a bit of aerial ping-pong. Finally, Brian Taylor knocks it goalward. Now it's Breeman. Away he goes. Breeman rejuvenated today. Kicks on goal. Cocker's there for Subiaco. McDougall, has he kicked the freak goal? No, he has. Over his head. Almost a magic goal to Brad McDougall. Subiaco are standing 10 feet tall at the moment. Every player would be as tall as Laurie Keane.
Well, he must feel very satisfied, Trevor, given the green light to play, and hasn't he turned it on for the Lions?
Brayshaw puts it into play. Morton knocked away by Georgiades, who can now do no wrong at all. 15 goals for the final round series. Ken, it's a great effort from centre-half forward.
Yes, and considering he's taken about nearly 30 marks in 3 final round matches.
Neesham brought to the ground by Cocker. Georgiades goes in strongly. Umpires picked out a kick for Subiaco to be taken by John Georgiades for a trip. Satisfaction on the faces of the Subiaco supporters now.
Kick number 14 coming up for John Georgiades.
This is the star of the final round. There's a lead into the pocket. Lee drops the sitter. Sun may have been in his eyes there. Neesham's the tackler. He gets around Neesham very easily. The general's tired, but look at the pass to Vic Jones. He wraps it up about a metre off the ground. He'll kick on goal from 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Look at that.
No one who works harder than Mick Lee, you know. And he is another player that must feel very satisfied indeed. He's not a stylish player. Gee, he works. A bit like the man kicking the ball.
The Jones boy has found the target. Another goal to Subiaco. They're streaking away from Claremont in the grand final. The floodgates have opened. Subiaco have charged through, Keith, and Claremont now can do nothing to stop the run in the Subiaco legs. And on a day like today, it's a magnificent performance.
Yeah, they're the fittest side in the comp. They proved that 2 weeks in a row. And what a master Hayden Button is. He's won another premiership for Subiaco. And the first time they've beaten Claremont in a final round game in 5 games.
Pickett's on. Begovic is off for Claremont. 51 points the margin. Incredible. Neesham kicks Claremont forward belatedly to O'Connell. With him is Bryce. Scrambling football on the attacking side of the square. Bryce gets it out. Fumble from hand. Tackled by Keane. Loses it to Bremen. Subiaco. This looks so superb. Cocker.
A 60-metre pass. Is he a magnificent kicker of the football? What a master stroke to move Bremen away from centre-half from full forward. I don't think we'll see him play much more at full forward. I think he's too good for that. He's proved in this final round that he can play midfield and play very effectively indeed.
Can Cocker kick 3 goals in a grand final?
Yes!
I can do anything. Play the theme song, says Big Shane. Look at the crowd, Keith. He's kicked 3 for the match. Hand coming off the ground. Begovic coming back on.
He's found his voice too, Big Shane. First half he was not uttering a word. There's Claremont trying to come away. Keane marks, knocks, tackles. There's the Bremen pass. Have a look at that. Centimetre perfect. And the Shane Cocker pops it through. 1 in the second quarter, 1 in the third, and 1 in the last quarter.
57 points the margin. We could even see a 70-point margin, the same as we saw last year, only in the reverse. Subiaco balloons floating by the broadcasting box. That's appropriate. 57 points in favour of Subiaco. Have you got a time on when Claremont kicked their last goal, Ken?
Yeah. 18 minutes and 50 seconds in the second quarter they kicked their last goal.
They've been demoralised by a great team, a spirited team of footballers. This is Kemp. He's caught. He's holding the ball. Won't make much difference now. Claremont would have to stage one of the greatest comebacks of all time. Viers goes into the pocket. Intercepting was Carpenter. It was meant for Neesham. Neesham paddles it on for Begovic. He's cornered. Pike. Back to Neesham. They're fiddling Claremont. Neesham's out of gas. No petrol left in the tank for the general. Jennings. Lewis. Armat for Claremont. He's tracking the ball to the boundary. Lewis has got it now. He kicks back to the general. Neesham's mark. Bullets on the mark. And very shortly, there could be a bit of fireworks there because I'd say Neesham would be a very unhappy man at the moment.
I haven't quite worked out why all the booing all day.
Haven't you?
No. Have you?
The crowd has been a strong Subiaco crowd and they disliked Jerry Neesham intensely.
50 metres out. Flower bag punt. Out of bounds on the full. Have a listen to the crowd's reaction to that. This has been a very dark day for Neesham and the boys from Tigerland. They've been nothing like the side we've seen all season.
No, his own personal performance, though, Trev, has been very good. In fact, I doubt that Claremont have had a better player than Neesham.
17 kicks.
Now, though, Keith.
Yeah, and there's a few others are lacking a bit of heart too. And that's a worrying factor. I saw them when the last goal was kicked, looking at the scoreboard, and a lot of them decided that nothing can be done. That's not the way to play footy.
Laurie was up. Laurie Keane couldn't take the mark. The kick came from Bryce deep in defence. And another bounce down just outside the 50-metre line for Claremont. 98 plays 41, 57 points in favour of the Lions. They're home for 1988. Into the back of Keane was Higgins. And the giant ruckman, 203 centimetres, Ken.
Circa 202, 203.
There's the kick to the centre of the ground. The flyer was Pickett. At the back, Claremont booted out of trouble through Brayshaw. The mark taken by David O'Connell. Members wing. He chips it for Don's Pike. He's 55 metres out from goal. There's the kick into the square. Good kick from Pike. Keane going back with a flight. There for Claremont is Armat. Hutchison there for Subiaco. Scott says he kicked it out on the full. Boundary umpire says he didn't. "18 minutes gone in this last quarter." Keane interfered with, pulls Beers out of the way. Hutchison gets it out to Lee. Great hand pass. Sends Lee away. No wonder he poled well in the Sandover middle. He kicks up to the wing. Jennings in front. Comes to Lewis. Great tackle, Mick Jennings. Great tackle. That's been the hallmark of the game. Lewis doesn't like it. But how could you like it when you're put into a vice-like grip like that?
To a man, they've been superb with their tackling, Subiaco.
This man's been one of the best on the ground. Brian Taylor kicks towards centre-half forward. Cocker, almost the mark. Owens was with him. Now Morton's got it. Good hand pass to Povey. Lewis. Brayshaw. Player put down behind the play.
Higgins on it.
McDougall it was who was put down.
Yeah, Higgins, very foolish play.
Cocker doesn't like it. McDougall's kick. Wobbly punt to pull forward. It's all Claremont. They almost spoil each other. Morton's hand pass was to nobody. But they've got time because they've got numbers. Kick it. He set something up here for James. He's on the members' wing and he can go for a run. He'll be met by Carpenter. Allen comes across to shepherd him. There's the kick, but chipping in Bremen.
Well, what a game he's
Been
played.
superb, hasn't he? Look at the pass. Jennings. Hasn't he come to life today? Away he goes. Nobody on the mark. But the intercepting there and taking a good strong mark for Claremont is James. Crowd don't like Higgins either very much.
Don't blame him.
James kicks to the members' wing. Keane. Oh, Keane, you missed him, Gerard. Have another go. When you're down, Keith. Bryce has got it now. He kicks the ball out wide. It wasn't a good kick. Brayshaw was metres in front of McDougall, but he runs out of space, and that's a boundary throw-in. She like that.
Well, it's not necessary, and I hope the Claremont players keep their cool. We've got a couple of fiery customers out there who could make an absolute fool of themselves.
Pocket threw it away.
One-hander throw.
He's been watching Belmain.
Doesn't matter, does it?
Not now.
33 free kicks to 22 in favour of Subiaco.
57 points the margin. 20 minutes gone. The kick up towards the wing. O'Connell up, and he's been paid the mark. No, the free kick going to Subiaco. Hutchison. He kicks it out wide. Carpenter. Good vision. He's marked between two Claremont players. Give away 50 in a minute, Michael O'Connell. In fact, he has. It's a bit tiggy Touchwood, but he gave it away. And Carpenter will shoot on goal from 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle to rub more salt into the wounds.
Yes, I'm disappointed at the way Claremont have finished this game. They put the cue back on the rack very early in the last quarter, and it's got to be very disappointing because footy is just not played that way these days. No matter what the score, you go right to the wire and let what will happen happen. Not today, Claremont.
It's the day of the underdog. Carpenter shoots on goal and kicked it. So the captain gets into the act as far as the goal kicking is concerned. That's his first goal of the match. Look at this scoreline now. Subiaco 16-8, 104. Claremont 5-11-41. And that's a margin of 63 points.
You know, Claremont haven't kicked a goal since half-time, and Subiaco have kicked 10.
18 minutes into the second quarter.
Absolutely incredible. And who would have ever thought that would happen? The disappointing part of Claremont is this last quarter, and he's pretty excited. I'm not sure who he's barracking for, but he's pretty happy.
It's not for you. It's for your little mate, Hayden Bunton. There's the bounce. Higgins up. Beaten by Keane. Straight down the throat of Allen. Allen kicks to centre half forward for Claremont. Bryce got a bad bounce. It favours Claremont. Beers. Hand passes to Molesso from 45 metres out. Is this the belated goal?
Yep.
Yes. Kicked by Peter Molesso. And that's quite incredible that Claremont, Nisham's got cramp. He's down as Molesso brings up Claremont's 6th goal of the game.
I reckon Jared Nisha wouldn't be going to walk off the ground, would he, early? I don't think he'd get many cheering for him. He's had a bad day as far as the crowd's concerned. Peter Molesso, nice kick at goal. Has good skills, the big man, and in fact took 2 goals in the second quarter.
Have a listen to this.
Oh, he is coming on. He's not coming back on either.
Is he smiling?
Well, can see his teeth, put it that way. Does that mean he's smiling?
No, I think they were more a gritty sort of look on his face. Now, Subiaco have got the kick here. What a great game he's played, Mick Lee. This time he goes for the hand pass. Brian Taylor chips it into the pocket. Beautiful. Jones.
He's done a super job today, Jones. He's most only had a half a dozen kicks, I'd reckon, but gee,
yes.
he's worked his inside out. He really has. In the packs, he's been superb. He's chased and caught people. And really, a man of his size, not often they do that, but he's done it today.
Let's see if he can finish it off. Left foot stab at goal. That's full points. Graham Jones brings up his second goal of the game. And Subiaco bounding away. They go to 17-8, 110. That's great kicking too.
Yes,
we saw the time running out very quickly now. Claremont at 6:11:47. And it's all over bar the shouting, Keith.
Yes, and I think when in reflection that if you had thought it was going to be a real pressure game, then you could have favoured Subiaco because they were obviously the better side in a pressure situation. But I must admit, I thought, like a lot of other people, that the sheer class of Claremont would allow them to open the game up and get their free-flowing style of football going. It didn't happen today.
Been a team effort from Subiaco, led by Keane. Pike feeds it out to O'Connell this time, though. O'Connell's kick is not a good one, and it lands straight in the arms of Hutchison. He lays it out wide. Neil Taylor. I wonder if this will be his last game, Neil Taylor.
He's played a battle beauty.
Kicks to half forward. Jones. Almost the marker game between Begovic and Lewis.
Neil Taylor has been in complete control today. The real steadying influence, Neil Taylor.
Who've been some of the leading kick getters in this last quarter, Ken?
Well, Brian Taylor's had 5. He's had 18 for the match, so he continues on his fine form. And Laurie Keane's had 4 kicks in the last quarter.
Away goes Povey. Ran out of a bit of space, but he got the kick away, but it's loose. Wide of Scott, out of bounds on the full. And if you're not informed, Keith, those sort of things can happen. It's all broken down for Claremont today.
Yes, it has.
This is Willett going across the full back line. Great hand pass. Jennings muffed it, though. Beers is there now. He's pulled off the ball. Play on. David O'Connell's got it. Ran around in a circle, then gave it to Allen. Allen punts at goal and puts it through. It's all too late as Claremont bring up their 7th goal. There's 7-11-53. Subiaco 17-8. 110, the first goal of the game for Ben Allen.
Yes, and I feel that now Subiaco have released the pressure a little. And we saw a fumble from Mick Jennings when he was about to break away. An obvious free kick that should have gone his way, and the umpires decided they'd let that go also. So the pressure right out of this game now.
53 points the difference. Keane up, second attempt, he knocks it forward. Shark by kick it, comes back to Allen though. He lays it out wide for Han. Han over the top. Chance here for Claremont. Malesso is in trouble. Avoided the high tackle though. Left foot's into the pocket. Brown, great mark.
Easy. Been a real solid contribution from Clint Brown today.
Switches play. Goes across the face. He's looking out there for Carpenter, who takes a courageous mark with Begovic bearing down on him.
Brown had his problems early with David O'Connell. But he's just stuck to his guns, as most of the Subiaco players have done.
Carpenter kicks long to the wing. In chips Pickett. Almost run down, in fact, run down by the big ruckman Jones.
Incredible, isn't it? He's done that half a dozen times today.
Pike has been given the free kick for holding the man. Jennings, the offending player. He didn't like it either, Mick Jennings. Pike goes short to Higgins. Attacking side of the square. He offloads a big drop punt. Kicked underneath it, though. It's sitting up in the air. Up they go. A good mark, almost taken. In fact, it's been paid to David O'Connell.
Over the top of his brother, who was running back with the flight of the ball. Just sees no danger at all, does Michael O'Connell. And David getting very high indeed to pull down a beauty.
O'Connell kicks at goal. Not a good kick. It's a terrible kick, in fact. He's kicked a minor score only. He's lucky to get that.
Yeah, that's a fair indication, Trev, that the concentration has gone completely out of the window.
What's wrong with my side, he's saying. What's happened today?
Surely it can't be the grand final, but we got another chance. The answer, no.
Terrible smell of mothballs around, Ken, for the Claremont players.
Yes, it's been a very disappointing end to a good season by Claremont.
Subiaco, ecstatic, their supporters. Sparks is back on the ground. He kicks to half back. Hutchison.
Good
It's
mark.
been paid the mark.
Yep.
Armat was with him. Now he goes by hand. Dargy runs through centre half back, kicks towards half forward. Out comes Claremont. Strong defence from Brayshaw. Kicks to half forward. Higgins. Away he goes. Pass for David O'Connell, rather for Beers. Good play there from Sparks. Allows Hutchison in towards Kemp. But this is Armat now. He did well, got out of a tight situation, and he's kicked a brilliant goal. Good shepherding from Scott. A brilliant goal to Joe Armat. But it's all too late. Subiaco, let's have a look at the replay of that, Pete. That was intelligent play from Armat.
Yes, he got a handball. The Subiaco player hit it straight to him. I think it was Kemp. And I don't know why, but he hit it straight to the hands of Joe Armat, and we saw a good shepherd from John Scott, and the ball bouncing through. But Claremont now coming home only because Subiaco have released the pressure a little. They've kicked, 3 goals in this quarter.
It's a nice, neat scoreboard. 50 points the difference in favour of the Lions. We are 3.5 minutes into time on. Keane knocks it forward. Georgiades spins away from 2 Claremont players, and from 50 metres out has kicked a beautiful goal. John Georgiades, the hero of Subiaco, as he brings up 5, and that's 16 goals for the final round series in a polished exhibition by the centre half forward. And even that little raggy doll's happy about that, Keith.
Yep, and look at the knock by Laurie Keane. He hasn't got the finesse of a lot of great ruckman of the past, but what he does do, he gets his hand to the ball first on almost every occasion. And Georgiades, he's had a very good duel with Noel Morton today. I thought Noel Morton was the right choice to play on him, but when Subiaco got on top, of course, that made it a bit easier for John Georgiades.
Not a good bounce from O'Reilly. Favours Keane, paddles it back to Bremen. Bremen tried to get it to Sparks, and that's one of the best tackles of the match.
And penalised for it.
Michael O'Connell came in, but the Kalgoorlie Express.
Kevin Sparks.
He was getting a free kick.
I thought he
must be a bit lucky, really.
He must have thought he was buried. Wasn't a bad tackle, but maybe classed as a charge.
I think he's a little bit mesmerised. He kicks the ball out very wide, almost to a Claremont player. It's knocked away, and Carpenter's got it now. Tackled by Pike, he gets it to Jennings. Jennings hugs the boundary, a bit too close. That's out of bounds on the full. No? He's paid the mark.
Wrong bloke.
No, he hasn't, has he?
He's going, yeah, wrong
yes,
bloke.
That's right. It's out of bounds on the full.
I think he was having a little joke there, Neil Taylor. I'm sure he is.
Begovic boots Claremont forward, but not very far, and straight into the arms of the Subiaco captain, Greg Carpenter. It's all come together today for the Lions. It's been a great exhibition of teamwork. This is Kemp now. Kalgoorlie, charge your glasses. Kemp's about to hand pass. Lee's got the football. Kalgoorlie keep cheering because Mick's put it into the pocket. Georgiades, the policeman, on patrol again today.
Kick number 16 for John Georgiades. What a star he's been in the final round.
50 metres out, on the boundary, left foot drop punt. Good kick, great kick. 6 goals for John Georgiades. Look at the elation, the satisfaction, and the complete domination of the centre half forward today, and he's getting a worthy round of applause from his Subiaco admirers.
That was a sensational goal, and Brian Taylor kicked an equally good one this quarter. You can see he's outside 50 metres on a very acute angle right on the boundary, and very methodically threading it through for another great goal. He's 6th for the game.
17 goals for a final round series. Would almost be a record, Ken. We'll have to check that.
I think Bernie Naylor might have done a bit better
yes.
a few times in the 50s.
Yeah. But a great effort from centre half forward.
Oh, marvellous. And the VFL Cup will be looking for him now.
McDougall kicks it out wide for Carpenter, and he's quite content to see it go over the line and out of bounds.
And there can't be too long to go in this quarter.
62 points the margin. They might get it up to 71, Keith?
12 goals kicked for the quarter, so it'll be a long one. Because it's into, 33 minutes now.
Keane, how many knock taps has he won today, Ken?
451. There's Butt.
He's made 20 effective ones.
There's the little master. They might call Jared Neesham the little general, but I know who the little master is. And must take...
There it is. The roar goes up from at least 30,000 spectators at Subiaco Oval for an outstanding performance by the Lion-hearted Lions today. Satisfaction there. Hayden Buckman, the coach. Subiaco. They are absolutely exhausted. They're dead on their feet, but it's a great feeling. They're 19 goals 8, 122. Is he that tall? 19 8, 122. The Claremont 8-12-60. That's a winning margin of 62 points in a tremendous performance.